Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to day 88, I think. I'm fairly positive it's day 88. Come on, what is it? Yes, day 88. Welcome, guys. Wow. Well, is there anything special to say about today? Not really. It's a Tuesday, November 4th, 5:57 p.m. There you go. So, what a way to start the stream. L Thing, thanks for being the first in the chat. I've gone ahead and given you some PPs on your YouTube and your Twitch accounts. So, hells yeah, as they say. L, you said something about network just saved my ass. What is that about? You said needed something for tomorrow, made a call, and you're picking it up. Wait, hold on. Needed something for tomorrow, made a call, and you're picking it up tomorrow. Picking up what? What are we talking about? Oh, also, I don't see the chat showing up on my stream. Did I accidentally turn it off? Oh yeah, we're gonna do a bit of troubleshooting here. Testing. Oh no, there it is. Okay, my bad. I guess it doesn't kick off until afterwards. Although the chat is slightly small there. Can I? Nope, wrong thing. Chat box, is it this one? No. Jesus, where do I find this? Wow, I'm such a noob at OBS still. Who would have thought? 3 months into streaming, and I still don't know what the hell I'm doing. Chatbox main. Okay. Whatever. Something like this for now. It'll suffice. Okay, let me put this back. L, you said something. Cables for work. And then you got a 5-stream streak. Ooh, nice. Well, thank you very much. Thanks for being here. 5 freaking streams in a row. Nice. I don't know what that gets you, though. I need to figure out better prizes. As of now, we're just kind of prizeless. We're doing our thing. But listen, L, I won't forget this. Okay, that's what I'll say. I'll give you an IOU, right? As one of the true OGs of the stream. Listen. Actually, let's take a moment. Let me think about... I just got to turn this fan on because it's kind of hot here. As I think about coming up on the 3rd month of streaming, right? We're 88 days in. I feel like it's been such a fun journey. I'm super excited. I have so many thoughts for where can I take this going forward. We got some plans, okay? Your boy's got some things cooking, okay? Some crazy stuff cooking, I swear. But anyways, it's been a really fun journey. And I think one of the cool things is seeing some of the people who've stuck around since, like, the first few weeks of my stream. There are a few of you guys who've kind of been here throughout the entire journey. And I very, very much find that very humbling. Also, you guys make it entertaining for me as we go through this. So it is very much our journey, so I appreciate it. It gets me channel points. Nice. At the very least, yes. Oh, wait, does it? Oh, nice. Okay, I need to figure that out. The VIP people, yes. And I do apologize. I keep saying, the thing is, like, I need a team, okay? I need a team of people to help me out. But I don't have team money, okay? That's the problem. I have team needs, but no team budget. But yeah, I have a to-do list that just continues to grow. One of them is, like, I need to create some new badges. Because I think right now is an empty thing for, like, at least for Twitch. I don't know how to do it on YouTube or Kick. But for, like, the 2-month and 3-month subscribers, things like that. Yeah, I want to create something fun for that for sure. Listen, hold. We'll figure this out eventually. Elle, you said, like, mods? What does that mean, by the way? Or, like, I understand a moderator, but isn't the role of a moderator mainly just to moderate people in chat? But the thing is, I don't have a big enough presence to really say, like, any moderation's necessary, right? Sometimes at most we'll have like 5 or 6 of you guys chatting away. Well, yeah, I think we're a long ways away from needing that kind of support. I think. I'm not sure. What's up, Day Tour? Guten Abend. Welcome. Happy day 88 on the stream. Thanks for being here. L, you said moderators on Twitch chat. You know what I need? I need a moderator for freaking Kick chat. Our Kick has steadily, consistently been at around 1 to 2 viewers. I appreciate whoever that brave soul is, if it's not a bot. But in terms of the chat, it's almost consistently been bots, spammers and stuff. And, I've been learning a little bit how to, like, put in some banned words and stuff to help out. But, yeah, That's as far as I've taken it. They can also help with bots, shoutouts, etc. Well, yeah, listen, I mean, we're very far away from being able to say we need mods. But obviously, I would love to continue doing this journey. Like I said, I got a few things cooking. Hopefully you guys trust that the channel, whether it's on these live stream platforms or my YouTube channel, that kind of stuff, we're gonna keep growing. Okay, we got some cool stuff. But anyways, yeah. My whole thing I was trying to say is thanks for being here. Although, as I say thanks for being here, you're like, hey, I gotta head out. Wow, how could you? Ellie said, I'm head out at an event right now. Oh, nice. Are you taking photos for the event? Or if it's just a fun event? Either way, enjoy the event. Thanks again for hopping in here. Thanks for achieving that 5-stream streak. And then, yeah, whenever you hop back in, obviously, I'll be here. So, cheers. All right, well, in general, let me just give a quick little hello. Thanks, guys, for being here. This is the second day that I've made some changes to my OBS. So if there are some kind of little hiccups, bear with me. But one of the things that I've changed is I've gotten this cat bed, which it's gotten like mixed usage from my cats. Right now, I try to only have Nala chill here because Kimbap already kind of has his little throne. Oh, wait, no, Nala's on the throne. Wow. Sometimes she kind of takes it over. But in the past few days, I have seen that Nala uses this bed occasionally. And then one thing I've tried is I put that freaking Amazon cardboard box that she started using on the other bed. I've gone ahead and sunk it into the freaking cat bed. And yeah, she's actually hopped up onto here a few times already and was chilling with me earlier. But now they've, they moved around because I did some feeding for them. So anyways, that was one cool thing. And of course, as part of that, I've gone ahead and linked up a second one of my cameras. And so some would say this is overkill. I would say it's just right. But now we do have a beautiful camera view. Whenever my cat shows up here and chills and hangs out with us, we can just hop into this view. And then eventually, once I receive my Nikon ZR, I do plan to replace this camera as well. Because right now I'm just using a Logitech to do this cat camera. Right now it's just an ass cam. Come on, Nala. This is a PG. There you go. Good girl. How dare you show your ass like that? Anyways, we're going to replace this camera as well in the future. So yeah, we'll keep making updates. And then eventually maybe we'll have like an overhead camera that just points down. I also kind of like, part of the reason I've been doing this is, one, I want to push my own learnings and knowledge when it comes to the technical stuff, just in general, right? Like if I'm embracing being a content creator, the more I can hopefully learn the technical jargon, the requirements to be able to like do these types of streams, I think it would only help me because it'll turn into new ideas or ways that I can be a content creator that I wouldn't be able to otherwise. And so the only way to do it is to test it out. So even for me, while it may seem silly, which it is, to, set up a professional $5,000+ camera just to point it at a cat or an empty bed, really, for most of it, I'm viewing it as like, ooh, now I know that if I have two Camlink 4K Elgato whatever, and I hook it up to the same Mac Studio, it seems to work. And then I also learned a few other glitches and stuff. So we're just slowly learning how to use the tech, and eventually I want to take it to the next level from that. What's up, LB? Low Bass guy is here, and BC's here. Oh, nice, good timing. We got the OGs in the chat. What's up, Brandon? Did you do a heist? Oh wait, can I join the heist? Is it too late? Heist. Yo, thank you,
Good
VC.
morning, Mr. Yobel and beautiful people.
You know what, we'll keep that voice for now. I just need something soft. So thank you, ASMR voice. Low Bass has rolled and gambled it all. You know what? Like I said, mad respect. I respect it always. Oh, you know what? Let's do the same thing. Gamble all. I really need. I want to find more like fun little things, gamified things we can do. Oh, there's a cap on when you gamble at all? I didn't know that. Okay, interesting. Or I only lost 10,000. I thought I would lose it all, right? Isn't that the whole point of gambling at all? What's up, BC? I like how you said good morning, Mr. Yobel and beautiful people. So that
I may be unemployed now, but Team Canon will forever be my job.
once you switch to Team Nikon, it's like bountiful harvest, you know? It's like you got your curse right now. You know what the C in Canon stands for, right? But what does the N stand for? Nikon? I don't know. I don't know where to go from that one. But listen, BC, I'm glad to have you here. Hopefully, at the very least, I can keep you entertained. And yeah, like, listen, man, positive spirits is always a thing. And I don't know who am I to like give advice on, you know, life stuff, really. But I'm glad you're here. And if we can keep you distracted or, you know, bounce ideas or figure shit out together, I'm happy to go there. There's quite a bit of chat delay. Ooh, let me double check if there's any issues. Low Base says there's quite a bit of chat delay, almost a minute. Wait, on the Twitch side. Let me wave my hand again. Usually I'll use this as a, or no, we'll switch scenes. And then let me see how long it takes. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. So on YouTube, it's always like consistently around 8-second delay. And I have like a 3-second delay built into OBS. So I guess YouTube is adding the additional 5. I don't know then why Twitch would add an additional freaking 57 seconds. But this is, again, like I said, the only way is just to go through this and understand a bit more of the tech. It is kind of fun. As much as I struggle through all the tech stuff still, I'm still like several levels more wise than when I started, right, on day one. So, but unfortunately, I still don't have a solution. The bitrate situation has been solved at the very least, so I hope you guys haven't been seeing on the Twitch side any like stuttering or weird issues there, like buffering. But if there is a huge delay, I unfortunately don't know how to fix that. Because I'm pretty sure, actually let me check my settings under stream. I have that disconnect protection turned on. I'm on low latency. And I mean, those are the only two options really in that section. So who knows? Who knows? Well, Low Base, if you have a solution, I'm all ears, by the way. In the meantime, there's a bit of skipping and buffering on my end. Oh, shoot. Well, that I don't want, obviously, happening. But, Low Base, at least from my point of view, because I can see it on my phone as well as on my desktop, it's showing that the connection is stable. They're saying it's excellent. Excellent bit rates, all greens. I'm not seeing that little buffering thing pop up. But, yeah. Twitch, man. Twitch is just a pain in my freaking ass. As much as, you know what, I've been enjoying the Twitch experience as a Twitch streamer. I love, like, there's a bit more of, it's a bit more user-friendly. There's a lot more of, like, instructions and easing you into certain things and the community aspect. But what the hell, man? How come I deal with the most network issues with Twitch? I thought they would be the most professional. I thought they are aren't they the OG of streaming? It evened out a little bit, but there's still a big delay. Okay. Well, hopefully you guys can survive with the delay part, because I at this point, I don't know what I could do besides ending the stream. But again, even if I restart the stream, it's not a delay that I've added. I've only added a 3-second delay. So that should be then just Twitch is adding in all the rest. What the hell, Twitch? And that's going to be a problem if I'm, you know, because I do want to start doing, we were starting to do a bit of research on stream in terms of like how to do IRL streaming, right? So I do need to figure this out fairly soon. Let's say if I start traveling again and I want to do IRL streaming, does this mean that I should, well, I guess once I, you know, I'm somewhere else in the world, I guess the connection to Twitch would be different. I don't know. Well, guys, welcome to day 88. Ignoring all the tech issues unless it gets worse. Right now, what are we going to do? Well, I am working on the script for my Dehancer video. And I'm almost done. So by the end of today's stream, we should actually have a fully completed all of the color grading that we wanted on all of these types of shots here. So as a quick reminder in terms of what is happening here, what's going on? Well, we are working on, I always say we, so maybe I'll try to switch the language up a little bit. I am working on my next YouTube video, or at least the next big one that I need to do, which is going to be a review on Dehancer. Now, Dehancer is a company that's a plug-in. It plugs into all the video and photo editing softwares out there, and essentially it emulates that kind of film camera look and feel. And so someone there reached out to me asking if I'd be interested in testing out their product for free, and in return I would provide an honest review. And so I thought that was an even exchange, right? So over the past month or so, I have been testing out Dehancer. I dabbled in it initially, and then now for the past few days, I've just kind of lined up a number of my footages, and we decided to go one after the other. How can Dehancer actually replace my color grading workflow? So while the way I've been editing this is not necessarily... what did I just do? What did I just do? How come it turned off? I'm not exactly sure what I clicked on something and then it all disappeared. Anyways, hopefully I won't do it again. So I decided to put a bit of a challenge for myself when it comes to the editing, where normally I have a Dehancer node at the very end of my workflow. So I'll do my color corrections, then I do a bit of my own color grading within DaVinci, and then if there's any additional kind of filmic look that I want, that's where we apply Dehancer at the very end to achieve like something that's our final product. However, if I'm going to stress test Dehancer, I figured, can I do the entire color grading process within Dehancer? So imagine here I have like, I would just do the basic color corrections on each of these footages just so that the exposure levels, the primaries, everything looks like within a normal range. Like there's no overexposure or super dark areas. And then within just one node of Dehancer, can we get a final look and feel? So that's what we've been doing. Now, one thing as I'm going through all of this, I mentioned before, I'm just not a big fan of this 35mm ISO 250 grain. So I'm going to go ahead and like just go through each of these and jump it down to like a ISO 50, because I think that's a slightly smaller grain. I believe so. Yeah. So it might be a bit subtle, but I want to test them out, right? Here, let me try 16mm. And what does 8mm look like? No, I feel like it's the other way. I think it's getting bigger. So if I do 65mm, 500, what do I get? Okay, there we go. So the high, okay, I didn't know this. The higher the number, I guess the finer the grain. And so for me right now, I just haven't really been enjoying when that grain is just way too grainy, right? So while I normally do like this clean look without the grain, obviously that grain is a big part of when people want to capture something in that film style. So I do want the grain, I just don't want so much of it, you know? So there's no rules against like what exactly you need to use. So why not break the rules, or why not shift away from what, you know, is considered the appropriate one? So this is what ISO. This is the ISO 50 65mm. What does 35mm ISO 500 look like? Yeah, still, in my opinion, it's a bit too grainy. So we're going to try to shift this over into the 65mm range, where now we just have the subtlest of grain. Okay, we're going to stick with that. So basically, we have all of these shots, and for all of these shots, I've gone ahead and edited them in Dehancer. So I'm just going to go through each one again, since I am about to update the film grain. So here's the before, here is the after. Shot number 3, same thing. Let's go ahead first adjust this to 65 ISO 50. Let's check it out. Yeah, I think this level of grain is just much more, I don't know. I think I prefer it more. Maybe this is, yeah. Listen, to each their own, right? So this is the aesthetic that I think is a bit better for me. Here's the before, and here's the after. Next shot, before and after. Now this one I actually didn't mind having the thicker grain, but I'm also trying to think if all of this is going to be turned into a montage video as part of my review, I probably need a bit of consistency. So let's try to make everything the same with the grain. Okay, looks good. Here's the before, here's the after. This one's still one of my favorite shots, although I think I need to crop this. Let's go ahead and cut this one up a bit, because we're not going to show all of this, right? I just want that smoke part right there. Man, what a badass look. Not that I condone smoking, you know, for most people, I think. Actually, for everyone, you shouldn't smoke. But it does look very badass. You have to give them that. Yeah, up till here then. Man, I saw there's a show, one of my favorite shows is called Peaky Blinders, and it's got that one dude in it with the very gaunt looking face. Man, what's his name? I never know how to say his name, even if I remembered it. Cillian Murphy? Killian Murphy? Actually, let's ask. Hey, Amber, how do I pronounce Cillian Murphy's name? Is it Killian or Cillian?
Yeah, so his name is actually pronounced Killian with a hard K sound. So it's Killian Murphy, not Cillian. It's a pretty common question, though, so you're not alone in wondering.
Okay. Cillian Murphy. Anyways, yeah, he's in a show called Peaky Blinders. I love that show. It's epic. It's very, dare I say, cinematic. But they have some of the coolest shots where, I swear, the dude is smoking nonstop in all of the shots. And I think that's partially why the shots look so cool. It's just a very badass look. But I think I saw a headline where he was saying that, you know, he was smoking so much. I'm assuming it wasn't like real cigarettes, but he was smoking so much of whatever the thing is that actors use that it was actually starting to impact his voice, where it was like changing how his voice sounds. So he stopped smoking and stuff. I don't know what that means for if yeah, I don't know what that means. Because the way they ended Peaky Blinders the last season, it almost feels like potentially there could be something more coming, but you don't know. Okay, anyways, I'm rambling here. What are we doing here? So, yeah, here's the before and after. I do want to try applying the grain. Let's go ahead and do that 65 ISO 50. What does the ISO 250 look like? Alright, whatever. Let's just go with the 50. Okay, so then this is what it looks like before and then after. Badass. All right, next shot. So here, same thing. Either I'm going to have to crop some of it just because it is a pretty long shot. I guess we can just keep it all as one piece for now. But let's go ahead and apply that grain and make it 65 ISO. Actually, I'm curious. If I choose that 35, I mean, technically, I could also just adjust the amount, right? So if I chose 10, how does that look compared to choosing 65? I mean, it's kind of the same. You know what? I didn't even think about this. Hold on. Let's take a step back. instead of choosing 65 millimeter, what if I choose the same one I was using, 35 ISO 250, but then all I do is just drop this down to like 10. Actually, no. I think I still prefer this 65 millimeter. So we'll stick with the 65. There's like just an ever so slight difference where I felt like the sharpness in the 65 is a bit clearer. Like, so when the grain is on the person's eye, I felt like sometimes with these film grain, it just almost like fully pixelates the eye out. Whereas with the 65, I felt like I still could see a bit more of the clarity on the, or like the sharpness of the eye. So yeah. Yeah, so we'll go with the 65 on these guys. Same thing here, 65. Okay. This one, same thing. I just felt like this one's a bit more boring in terms of the color grading. It just mainly just maintaining a bit of the warmth. That was about it. This one was fun. Same thing. Let's switch it. 65. Hello, BT. Good day, people. Good to see you, BT. I feel like I had a bunch of questions for you the other day. But I don't remember them. How's your day, BT? Or is your day just starting, I'm assuming? And I don't remember when you were last here, but essentially I'm still working on my Dehancer video. Enable that. However, I should be able to be done by today in terms of all the color grading. So just as a quick recap, I'm taking a bunch of footages that I've taken from footages. I have to stop saying footages. I'm taking a bunch of footage that I've captured around the world in the past few years of traveling. And I'm applying Dehancer to all of it. And the big challenge for me was, can I take each of these footage, color correct it to a baseline neutrality, let's say, and then use only Dehancer for all of the color grading and the creative look and feel. So these are all the ones that we had finalized in our past few streams. You said it's kind of just starting. I haven't actually tackled work yet. Gotcha. Got your wonderful cold pressed juice for the day. What is a cold pressed juice? I keep saying that word. I just never like bother to understand it. Let me ask ChatGPT. What is a cold pressed juice?
Yeah, so cold pressed juice is basically juice that's made using a hydraulic press. So instead of using something that involves a lot of heat or fast spinning blades, it presses the fruits and veggies really slowly and gently to extract the juice. The idea is that by not using heat, you keep more of the nutrients and the flavor intact. So it's kind of a popular way to make juice that people see as a bit healthier and fresher.
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't hear a single word she said. And it's something about hydraulic press, and then something about being healthier. But yeah. So what I'm doing right now is I'm going through all the footage that I've edited already, and I'm adjusting the film grain to this 65mm ISO 50 look, because in the default setting of when it was at 35mm ISO 50, or sorry, ISO 250, with the amount set to 35, which apparently was like the default, I just felt that the grain, the noise was way too much for some of the shots. A lot of the shots. I just felt there was too much grain. Whereas I'm like kind of looking for a bit more of a finer grain. Nothing too overwhelming, but just enough to kind of texturize, let's say, the shots. So I'm going through each of the shots and I'm just reapplying or re-updating the film grain on everything. Now, technically, there's one other thing I forgot to do that I should do. So let's just go to the beginning. I want to also activate the analog range limiter. So my understanding of the analog range limiter is that it will essentially limit the range of your, basically the luminance of your shot. So I guess that's also part of, like, if you want a very film look, it's something that doesn't really have, like, you know, really dark blacks and bright whites. It's like a bit more of a compressed look, I guess. Not that I would know. And so this analog range limiter essentially just kind of makes sure to remove some of the super dark and super white areas. So this is what I had it edited as. And then with that range limiter, it's kind of, you know, compressed it a bit further. Now, do I like that look? I mean, not necessarily. I generally prefer when it's a bit darker. But, you know, if we're trying to emulate film, I guess maybe I gotta take some steps like this. So let me go ahead and turn those on as well. I will say though, for some of these shots, I actually, you know what? I'm gonna go back on what I just said. Some of these shots I actually prefer when it's got more contrast in it. So I'll be a bit more selective where I apply this analog range limiter. Like maybe this one, just because it is actually like pretty dark across a lot of these areas. But the other ones, I kind of like it dark. This one could be interesting to use, I guess. I think I prefer just a bit more contrast in my shots. BD asked, you can't emulate a specific stock with that? Question mark. Well, the problem is I've been kind of I'll apply one of these film stock profiles, but then I do a bunch of manual adjustments to the sliders. So then and then also once I combine it with the print stock profile, you know, so then you end up with like whatever new Frankenstein creation, you know, that you've made. And then sometimes I end up darkening it a bit more than I probably should, but you know, it's not like pitch black or anything. But let's see. Yeah, so I'm probably doing this backwards. Like, I probably should have done the range limiter first and then adjusted around it, maybe? I don't know, actually. I'm not sure. I don't know. BD says, I see. Do you see? Do you see what I see? I don't like this analog range limiter, for example, on this shot. I kind of prefer when it's dark. So it's very dark there, obviously. And then once it passes through, I like it just like this. So, yeah, I don't know. So I'm going to be a bit selective on it. We'll apply it on this one. Although now this shot feels very, very desaturated. Yeah, probably too much desaturated. It's already like, I've already desaturated quite a bit. You can tell like in the skins. So maybe we won't turn on there. Well, listen, we're just kind of winging it, okay? What about this one? Okay, so now we're back to normal. So let me turn this on. I don't mind it on this one a bit, although, let me think. Alright, we'll apply it on this one. And now I think we're caught up back to like, oh no, we got a few more. So same thing, like I prefer this kind of, I like how this looks a lot. Now if we apply that analog range limiter, it's lifted the blacks essentially. And it doesn't look bad. And obviously you can see a bit more details now in the areas that I kind of kept dark. So I don't know. At the end of the day, it is obviously a very subjective choice. Well, I guess if we turn it on, we just need to increase the contrast again. Yeah. So, I mean, I guess I can always darken the image afterwards. But then, doesn't that defeat the purpose of this? I don't know. Like, if I do this, right? What was the whole point of the analog range limiter if I've gone ahead and darkened it again? I don't know. I'm not so certain about this whole analog range limiter. I just know that that's the function. I was like, oh, okay. It seems like something that's worth turning on. BC says 10K to go. Oh, wow. This is the closest you've been, I think, right? Or have you cracked 90,000 before? BD, can I ask you if you're still here? No worries if you're not. This is the closest you've been, BC? Nice, nice. In case BD is still in the chat, not to single her out or anything, but I'm curious. I think BD, did you say you do a lot of like live events? Where you have to like hook up a bunch of cameras and it's all broadcasting live? What else? Oh yeah, 65 millimeter. Oh, I should have just copied and pasted. Oh, that's fine. Okay. Same thing. Let's go to 65. Yeah, what's the point of the analog? Okay, let me ask. There's a feature in Dehancer called analog range limiter. And from my understanding, it's hold on one second. Yo, Honyasu, man.
Sure, no problem. Just let me know whenever you're ready to jump back in and we can chat about it.
I do not deserve such epicness from you, Honyasu. Thank you very much. Thanks for the raid. You are way too kind. Hopefully you're raiding me because you find me entertaining then, okay? So I'll do my best to keep it up. But thank you very much for being here. I appreciate it. Honyasu, shout out to Honyasu. If you're on the Twitch side, you should absolutely follow. Actually, yeah, hold on, because I don't know how to spell the Japanese name. Let me accept the duel, by the way, from BC. But oh yeah, let me do a shout out to Honyasu. Honyasu said, I came at the right time. I saw a horse. Yes. Oh man, who was the one? Wait, who was the person? This is like from the first month of my stream. We had a fox lady, or we had a fox person, where their avatar, everything was about foxes. Fox eye. And yeah, like coincidentally, as I'm editing my fox photos, she would appear. Yeah, shout out to Honyasu, epic photography, cosplay, doing the live photo edits. Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. Well, yes, we're doing so a bit of horse. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you. There's not many horses. We're gonna jump away from horse in a second, but you know, I'm just re-editing just very slightly some of these shots, so that you know, it looks nice. But yeah, we got our horse shot. So here's the before, and then here's our after. And I'm just applying a very, very tiny bit of grain into the shot. So I think the previous grain I was using was just too noisy. It was just adding a lot of noise and just like too much pixelation almost, in my opinion. It's probably the wrong word. Whereas now I've shifted the grain to be a smaller, finer grain size. And now it doesn't feel as annoying to me. And that could just be a testament to like me not liking the film look as much as other people maybe. But yeah, it's just that's my style. So like for instance here, I think the noise is a bit much. So what I would want to do is switch this film grain from the 35mm ISO 250 to the 65 ISO 50, and it's dropped it significantly. And then I was testing around with this analog range limiter. What did I do? So I need to increase this to 8.1. Yeah, there we go. So now here we go. Here's our before and here's our after. And then I was about to ask a question to ChatGPT about this feature called the analog range limiter. But what a beautiful horse. Oh yeah, we learned from Ikidis. This is called the Appaloosa. BD says, that is something I am apparently an industry-leading expert in when it comes to live cinematic multicam. Yo, BD, I need to pick your brains on something. You said, yes, I work a lot of projects like that. Wow, you're an industry-leading expert. I'm assuming you're not saying that lightly, so that is pretty bold. That's badass. When it comes to live cinematic multicam. Huh, okay. Well, BD, do you mind if I, are you on the Discord, or is there a way I can DM you or message you some questions I have? Basically, I'm trying to figure out how to do, like, live streaming once I start traveling. And I just need a good sense of, like, the different technologies I should consider. But, yeah. And I'm trying to think of it from like a high-end perspective. So yeah, I'm not trying to think of it like, oh, can I do an IRL stream with an iPhone, that kind of stuff. I'm like actually thinking, is it possible to, you know, to actually put together the high-end gear that would be required for like some really cool stuff once we start traveling again, which I'm aiming to next year. Industry leading expert. Wow. BD says I can join. Oh, cool, cool. Okay, let me just add my little Discord thing in here. Honyasu, can I ask if you're still here? And if you have to go, by all means, thank you again. I appreciate your presence. Thanks for the support. But Honyasu, you said you saw a horse. Do you do like animal photography as well? I'd be curious to know, but you might not be here, so just, you know, I'll ask you whenever you're here. I can run your pockets dry, says BD. Ooh. Well, here's the thing, BD. I'm trying to put some pitches together. I'm putting some like concepts together as well. But in an ideal world, it would not be my own pockets that run dry. You know, so I'm trying to see if I can put some nice little concepts. But it's a bit too premature to like even try to figure this out on a live stream. But if you have some time, I would love to just, you know, run some questions by you. Definitely, obviously, on the technical limitations or possibilities. But yeah. Wait, when you say you're an industry-leading expert, how does one get that label? How can I become an industry-leading, you know, something positive, you know, expert on something cool? Okay, let me switch this to 65. Oh yeah, I was supposed to ask a question to ChatGPT. Hold on. Hey Amber, are you still with me?
I sure am, still here and ready to dive back into whatever you need. Just let me know when you're good to go.
There's a feature in Dehancer called analog range limiter. And my understanding of it is that it's essentially kind of doing a bit of compression to like the blacks and the white points or something, where it's just trying to limit the range of the luminance, let's say, of your shot. However, if I turn that on and I do see that effect where it kind of flattens out the lighting, let's say, I can then still go in and like within the same tool, I can increase, let's say, something like the tonal contrast or the exposure. So then it feels like it takes it right back to where I started. So what's the point of using the analog range limiter unless you're using it at the very end of your color grading? Or help me understand. Does it just get wiped out once you start doing anything with contrast or with the... Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I get what you're saying. So basically, the idea with something like the analog range limiter is that it's kind of like a subtle tool. It's gently compressing the extremes of your highlights and shadows to give you a kind of analog film like roll off. Now, you're telling me, right, that if you then go in and you crank up your contrast a lot, you can kind of undo that effect or override it because you're stretching those tones back out. So it really is kind of a subtle tool that works best if you use it toward the end of your grading process, or you keep in mind that you don't want to put your contrast way back out afterward. It's really just a way to kind of gently smooth out those extremes and give you that filmic look. But if you push your contrast a lot after that, you can kind of erase that effect. So it's just about where you put it in the chain and how you use it.
Okay, okay. BD says, well, that's something I am apparently a self-proclaimed expert in running somebody else's pocket dry. Nice, nice. Yeah, as long as it's not my own pocket. All right, that's the big hope. I actually know that one for a fact. Nice. Wait, you know which one for a fact? The running people's pockets dry? Actually, I know that one for a fact. Okay. Clipping indication. So I do want to get more familiar with this whole false color IRE concept. So my understanding is I can use this to see if anything is in the purple or in the orange. That's where I had to be concerned that it's overexposed. But it's kind of weird because the way I'm reading this, there's a bit of that orange right here, right? But that looks more like this orange, which is in the middle of this false color range. So if it's in the middle, but then that is the brightest point, right? I would assume this is like closest to, yeah. So I don't know. I'm a bit confused, as I always am, but you know, what can you do? Yeah, do we keep this look? All right, we'll keep it. Moving on. I need to be faster. I need to use that Pomodoro timer thing that I downloaded or I have access to. Because one of my issues is that I tend to take my sweet ass time with editing. I mean, everything I do basically, but yeah. This was supposed to be a very quick task because we've already edited these. So okay, we're gonna try our best. I'm gonna be faster on this one. So all you need to do is click on this analog range limiter, and we're gonna change the grain to 65. Oh, I had someone in the chat yesterday who gave some advice for me, and they said that I should technically have the vignette node prior to when I do that transform out into Rec 709. I should technically have the vignette node beforehand. I forget the reason he said it, but basically I guess you have just a bit more control over it. So the question is, do I go ahead and update my beautiful little node structure here? I mean, there's no harm, but I'm getting so lazy thinking about doing that. All right, let's enable this guy. Okay, moving on. 65. Dun, 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 dun. There we go. Look at us. We're so much faster. Working fast. Why does this one look different? Oh, it's because it's turned off. I was like, huh? Why is it different? Okay. Problem fixed. 65 and analog range. I joined, so feel free to DM when you please. Oh, thank you. Okay. I might have to do it in a bit, because obviously I'm streaming right now. But oh, hey, just passing by, baby. Yes, I was just talking about you. I was like, oh yeah, there's someone in the chat who's helpful yesterday about fixing my nodes. The analog range limiter is just trying to soften the overall image, but bring back details in the center, all while pushing uncorrected black and white points at the ends of a contrast curve. Interesting. So then, could someone use the analog range limiter on its own just to make sure they don't have like any crushed shadows or like highlight clipping and stuff? Because like for instance, we have someone, I think it was Maple Glades in the chat, and he in the early days when I was first testing out Dehancer was telling me that I think he sometimes uses Dehancer not just, but basically he was saying one of the benefits is not just like the color stuff, it's the fact that he can turn on that whole false color IRE. And so sometimes he'll just use that tool within Dehancer as opposed to like, everything else. So then could someone use Dehancer not for any of the film stuff, but just to access this analog range limiter, just to make sure that they're not ending up with something getting clipped or something? I have no idea. I'm like looking at my waveform. I mean, I'm still dealing with some pretty dark areas for sure. And I guess this false color is the best way to showcase that, right? But here's the other thing. I don't mind when the shot is underexposed. When it's overexposed, I feel like it's really tough to kind of salvage it. But in these circumstances, I feel like when it's like pure dark, like pure black and stuff, I actually don't mind all the time. But I just have an assumption that's considered like a big no-no. Let's see. So like if I have this shot. Okay, so let's say I really like this. However, based on the false color, we can see that there's a bit of pure black area, let's say. And then if I were to spend the time to adjust it and fix it, could it then just ruin the rest of the shot? In my mind, maybe. But I guess maybe, okay, what would I do if I'm just using Dehancer? Just Passing says, if you need false colors, I would suggest Nobi Omniscope. Ooh, is it a free thing? Tell me it's free. Oh, Just Passing. I'm curious if you have an answer for this. Or maybe BD, you might as well. But I think it was someone else who had suggested this. Someone had suggested that I should purchase... They had mentioned that there's only one brand that they will purchase LUTs from, because this company, this website that sells these LUTs are like the most properly, they're like the best made LUTs that follows all the proper techniques and like doesn't destroy your footage in some way. And I was meaning to download it, but I didn't see, I couldn't tell if they had an update with the new ZR camera. And I forgot the name of the, whatever it is. So, Nobi Omniscope. Honyasa is asking, is that a thermal shot? Well, okay, so take what I say with a grain of salt, because I'm not the best person to explain this. But there's this feature called False Color IRE. And it takes my shot and then it tells me, using these colors, what is considered too dark or too bright, essentially. Or that's one of the things you can take away from it, is it'll tell you like, oh, right here, the purple area, that's areas that are considered pitch black. So I should, either I can't rescue any details there, or if I made it this way, I need to adjust to bring up the exposure levels or whatever. So I guess I could, let's see, can we try doing that here? Dun, 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 dun. Dun, dun. But I feel like I'm just ruining the shot by doing whatever I'm doing here. Hold on, let's see. I mean, it doesn't look bad. Alright, let's keep seeing if we can lift it then. See, that's obviously I'm doing something crazy right now, and that's not what I want. And then we can lift up. Nope. Yeah, so anyways, I'm trying, but I'm not trying to go too crazy with it, so. BD says, I feel like I'm running so far behind, but I forget that the end of daylight savings has my back now. Oh yeah, daylight's kicked in, right? Because I think Dubai doesn't follow it, but I had a phone call with someone who's in LA, and now I think we're back to like what I like, where it's a exactly 12-hour difference. So then it just makes it easy for me to actually keep in mind what time it is over there. Just Passing says, all LUTs destroy images. Use power grades, but still need to work on them. Okay, yeah, I guess, okay, so I see what you're saying. It's like kind of like the same way you can say taking a drug is not, like if you're taking medicine, it's not like something you want to do, right? Like there's always going to be side effects, or it's not necessarily good for your body, but you're trying to aim for the positive side effects of whatever it will do to cure the thing wrong with you. But it's like ideally, like, you know, sorry, I don't know if that analogy works, but I'd heard before that like technically medication isn't like a positive thing in the sense of like, not in like a good or bad way, but as in like there is a detrimental effect to your body when you take medicine, but it's always a question of what are does the pros outweigh the cons of taking the medicine. So yeah, I guess maybe if you think of LUTs that way, it's like, okay, when you apply a LUT, it is essentially destroying your footage in some way. However, are you willing to allow for that for the additional gains that you get? I don't believe in using other people's LUTs unless they are technical. Yeah, and so BD, that's what I was saying, like, someone in the chat, I think it was maybe Fedorevsky or someone who seems like very in the know, had said like there's this one brand, and this is the one that like professional color graders trust or use, or like, Hollywood style, whatever. And I just happen to forget the name of it. Omniscope is not free, but it is the best waveform, vector, false color, etc. Everything. It could be internal or via Ultra Studio as external. It doesn't make any sense. Somebody's look is not yours. Yeah. All right, let's look at the price of this. Nobi Omniscope is loaded with powerful features that make color grading easy. The highlights are GPU acceleration, HDR, Stream Deck support. What do you need a Stream Deck for? Oh, okay, I can just use my Stream Deck to just do some shortcuts. Interesting, I never thought to use my Stream Deck for that. 19 scope types, multiple input support, blazing fast, 12-bit signal support, highly versatile. Okay. Wait, does like an audio thing as well? Interesting. So you're saying this works within DaVinci as well? Skin tone and Twin Peaks. Specialized scopes including skin tone. Oh, wow. Okay. This thing sounds... I feel like this would be very useful for me to, like, just learn. It seems like this would be a good way for me to get better at this. Probably because I would have to watch a lot of videos to understand how to use it. Now, the problem is I'm spending way too much money, so... Hue qualifier, okay. This all sounds so fascinating. BD says, we utilize Nobi Omniscope for everything we do. Fantastic tool. Okay, now does it come with the fantastic price? Trusted by the best. Company 3, Netflix, Picture Shop, HBO, Warner Brothers. Oh, I've seen this guy, Darren Moston. I think I watched one of his videos. Pricing, here we go. All right. Oh, they do it for photos as well. Interesting. Oh, I don't understand what the photo version means. Pro version includes, so it's $400, includes $100 what? What is this $100 for? Includes $100 upgrade and support plan. Renews annually. Oh, okay. Do I really want to spend $400 right now? I don't think I'm at the level of filmmaking to warrant this. I'm assuming it works with DaVinci. Although I see here, oh yeah, here you go. DaVinci Resolve. Well, this sounds fascinating, and I feel like I will eventually end up getting this. The question, I guess, for me is like, yeah, does the quality of work that I do and the like the projects that I have coming up or that I have to work on now, does it warrant using something like this? Probably not, because like we've got 2 years worth of my traveling footages to get through, and those are all just kind of shot haphazardly, without me really thinking about things. I'm just filming whatever's in front of me, so I'm not like necessarily going to be working to create some actual film, right? It'll be separate from that whole ZR chimpanzee documentary film I made, or if I did more of those kind of projects, or if those are the things I'm going to be editing for in the near term, then I'd be like, okay, let's just get the best quality everything. But probably since I have so much content to catch up on, those are travel vlogs. Those are going to be more casual. Those things with what I have in front of me, I'm more than happy with. And then once we get into the real professional stuff, then it sounds like then I'll pull the trigger on this. Nobi Omniscope. Now somehow I'm going to have to remember this thing. Nobi Omniscope. Well, thank you very much, Just Passing and Beatty. Man, I can always rely on people in the chat to be just way smarter than me with good suggestions. Oh, yeah, sorry, I missed your message too. You said, unless you shot the exact same way how the source was shot, which was used to create those LUTs, you won't get the same result. And the time spending correcting for that is simply not worth it. Fair enough, fair enough. What would I say? Buy LUTs. I'm gonna have to sift through a bunch of random shit, right? I wish I could remember what the person in the chat had said was the name. Maybe I can see once I click on something, like the visuals. No. Editor's key. I don't think it was this. Which LUTs are the ones that professionals trust the most? Phantom? Okay, maybe it was this one. The name Phantom sounds familiar. Professionals primarily trust and use technical LUTs that convert into a standard viewing color space. For creative purposes, they use that. Okay. Filmbox, no. Osiris Film Convert. No, I mean, none of that sounds familiar with what the person said. The word phantom sounds familiar, though. Phantom LUTs. Oh, yeah, and I've clicked on this. Okay, I think this is it. Okay. So, without remembering who exactly said that I should, this is, someone in the chat had mentioned these are the only LUTs that he or she trusts as far as like any type of, third-party LUTs that you would want to purchase and use. So someone named Joel Famularo, Phantom LUTs. Let's see. So that works for the Red, Komodo, and Raptor. So then I guess my question becomes, if I have this Nikon ZR, which shoots in that R3GNE, which I believe in the color space, it's the Red 3G Log 10 or something like that. Yeah, Red Log, oh, sorry, I got it wrong. Red Log 3G 10. So if it has that same color space or whatever, does that mean if you purchase a LUT that this guy made, that was specifically for this Komodo, whatever, could it work then with the ZR? Or are you essentially kind of working off of a slight deviation? BD says, well, I can answer that question by saying that no serious colorist uses somebody else's LUT. Ooh, nice, nice. Well, I kind of want to try this out, though. But I'm also not a serious colorist. I would absolutely call myself a enthusiast, serious enthusiast. And obviously, I want to create film quality, or like, what would you call it? Cinema quality content. But I, by no means, have any, how you say... I have no illusions that I'm somewhat, you know, like I'm going to be like the master colorist without actually spending years. And I feel like to do that, I assume you do need to actually have proper training, not just like casual YouTube videos and, you know, your own experience. So in my personal life right now, I don't think I have the capacity to have that time to become like a serious professional colorist. I just want to get to a point where at the very end of the day, whatever footage that I capture and whatever stories that I want to share with the rest of the world, it feels immersive, it feels vibrant, it does the job, you know. BD says, unless you're technical like NBCU, technical LUTs, or what does NBCU mean? The NBCU LUTs, it's a GitHub thing. NBC Universal. All right, I'm about to click on things and get a virus. Just Passing says, same color space, different sensor. They work, but not quite. Different sensor, so no. Okay, yeah, okay, without... that was my thought process, was like I had an assumption that it won't necessarily be a one-to-one. So then my thought was like, okay, let's just wait to see if this guy comes up with a LUT specifically for that camera, and then I'd be willing to purchase it, assuming the price was not crazy. But I hear your guys' reservation that it's like, yo, why would you buy even anyone else's LUTs? You know, how dare you? But listen, I'm just trying to learn here, okay? But yeah, this guy, someone mentioned this one, so hopefully I'll remember again. Oh, let me write it down. Phantom LUTs. Phantom LUTs, and then BD said something about NBCU. All right. Those links are fantastic reading material. That's how they get you. Wait, which one? I was just kind of joking. I don't even know which one I was supposed to click on. Color.org. 28 pages. Oh, you weren't kidding. This presentation covers how NBC Universal assures that we preserve the original. Oh, no. Yeah, this is going to be way too dense for me. Wow. Like I said, clearly this takes years and years of schooling or like actual professional training. I mean, is that true? Yeah, I think for my brain power, for my brain capacity, yeah, I can't just absorb this immediately and understand. So practice is all I can do. Interesting. All right, well, listen, thank you guys. I feel much more enlightened in terms of this process. So, but as far as this one goes, let's go ahead and copy this. I think we apply it to the next one as well, right? All right, you know what? It looks close enough to each other. Actually, let's copy this guy over. Dun, 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 dun. So for what I'm doing, we're just going to keep maintaining this process of let's adjust the film grain to 65 ISO 50. And then we'll turn on that analog range limiter when it seems visually to look nice. Oh man, I'm still waiting to hear back from freaking Musicbed. Because I'm like itching to start playing Musicbed on my streams again. Just because I'm honestly a big fan. So, but I think because it's the weekend and everything, I'm still waiting because they basically need to upgrade my subscription from the trial version to like the actual one. So then I can have the unlimited licensing so that I can download the music, get the licenses so I don't get copyright struck and all that stuff. But I am very excited. I mentioned it before on the stream, but yeah, Musicbed is another company that had reached out to me to see if I'd be interested in testing out their sound platform. And I did do it on a number of my streams previously, but I was constantly getting copyright struck. So I said, you know what, F it. I just want to avoid that until we get it resolved. But I tested it enough times where I was like, yo, I love it. I love Musicbed. It would work for the music that I play casually, so like this kind of background music on the streams. But more importantly, probably, for any of my future videos that I'm making, the stuff that are a bit more like, you know, scenic, or I'm trying to not say cinematic so much because I feel like I say too much. And I know everyone says it. So anyways, all the cool footages that I want to, all the videos I want to make in the short films or whatever travel concepts on YouTube, I can see how Musicbed would become the background score that I could use. So we'll see. I'm still waiting to hear back though. So hopefully by tomorrow's stream I should be able to start playing some of that Musicbed. Just passing said oh no, sorry, I missed that. A virus, those links are good. Just extremely technical and boring. You don't need an NBCU LUT unless you are delivering within an unconverted standard HDR pipeline. I don't believe I'm doing any of the things you just said, but you also kind of spoke in tongues to me right now, so I'm not sure. 65 and analog. All I know is I really like how my shots look right now. But I've said this before, I think like sometimes you stumble upon the right answer, but if you never learn how to actually properly get to that final result, should you even be proud of yourself? So like if I end up, let's say if I end up color grading this and it ends up looking nice, it's subjective, but let's say people look at it and they think it's nice. It's like, cool, how'd you do it? Well, it's like I just adjusted these sliders, I moved this around, but why'd you do that? It was just, trial and error until something looked nice. It's like, okay, well, can you do it again? It's like, oh, I mean. So that is kind of the thing that's driving a lot of my recent streams in terms of my desire to like actually start to learn. Yeah. And you know what? These streams has become like a fun way for me to like feel like I'm back in school without the annoying aspects of school. So, we're learning at our own pace and feeling productive at the same time. But when you say NBCU, what does NBCU stand for? Is it actually that thing? The NBC Universal? Okay, let's go faster. Oh, it's because I didn't enable this. Whoops. All right. Yeah, I like this 65 millimeter grain, but I think I remember everyone, or it seemed like 35 is the consensus that people seem to like more. It's like, okay, fine. To each their own. Low base, you said, I just got my boss's termination email. That was trippy. Ooh. Wait, how'd you get it? BD says, yes, NBC Universal created the LUT, and it is industry standard for HDR pipelines now. Oh, okay. Wow. Imagine having that on your resume. Low base. You know what? Yeah, I remember I was joking with some of my colleagues or friends in the past, but it's like the people that could never get fired would be someone in IT, I feel like, just because like the hassle of having to hire someone else to take over IT stuff. I can imagine that kind of keeps you in the loop always. Oh, what is this? Oh, it's just loading. What was the other job? Hello, Daytor. Hello, hello. Wait, didn't I say hi to you? Oh yeah, I said hi to you before, right? Low base, you said, I get all the termination emails because I'm the one who has to deactivate their credentials when they leave. His retirement party is today and he's officially retired. Oh, okay, so he's not like terminated. He was, he's retiring and that's just like it's just part of that process. Unless you're saying like some asshole decided to terminate him right before he could, you know, claim some kind of retirement benefits or something. Yo, that's like demonic. That is diabolical if they did that. The other job that I feel like you can't get fired. Yeah, because like imagine so little base, kind of what you said, right? Because you're saying you're the one who has to deactivate their credentials. So if it's your job to deactivate people's credentials or do something that's part of the offboarding or onboarding, then how do you fire that person? Because then do they have to offboard themselves? Or especially if it's like a one-man show, right? Terminated just means their employment is terminated. Gotcha, yeah. So I was thinking like in my former job, and like especially in Dubai, because a lot of people are expats, and as part of moving to Dubai, there's all this paperwork. There's someone in these corporations who have to, like, their job is to help you with your residence visa, you know, getting the work visa processed, making sure all the paperwork goes through. I was like, yo, you could never fire this guy because like he's an important part of the onboarding process and the offboarding process. So it's like, how can you fire the, like, yeah, if you fire him and there's no one else to do the offboarding, he's just kind of coasting in that job forever. And that guy has been there forever in my former job. All right, we're almost caught up now, so there we go. Nice. I feel like, was this the last shot we worked on? There might be like one or two others, but we're basically at the finish line of our work so far. See, like this is a good example. I feel like this was the 35 millimeter grain at the default setting of 35 on the scale. And at this point, the eyes are essentially just all, it's just gone. Like the eyes are just a bunch of pixels. Whereas now I've switched over to the 65 millimeter and whatever the default, and it's gotten much cleaner. while still maintaining a bit of that grain effect. So hello, Kavaitsu. Excuse me. Okay. Oh, I think this is the last one we did. I could be wrong. BD said they have a very dedicated group and extremely talented team that researches and develops for their own ops and the industry at large. Okay. Yeah. Kavai says, yo, enjoying my smoothie. How you doing? Oh, man. So ever since I've been going back to the gym, by the way, just to hold myself accountable, I have been going every other day. I think it's been that cycle. I don't think I've missed a gym cycle yet. So I just go every other day. So tomorrow I'll be going in the morning. But man, one of the best parts of going to the gym now is in this gym, they have a little, what would you call it? A protein bar, or they have a little shop inside where someone's manning the station and you can, buy some protein shakes and stuff. My God, it's so good. They have like one of those, pistachio, almond, something, protein shake smoothie, protein smoothie. Oh, it's like, oh, it's so delicious. It's so amazing to end the workout, chug that thing, head back home. And Dubai's still kind of hot, so it kind of works out. But yeah, mango smoothie is always the best, but for like those protein stuff, I think the almond things are the best, I think. Okay, let's drop this to the 65 analog. There we go. Oh wait, we're not done. Okay, was this the last one? Jesus, my memory's so bad. This one, I think I said the halation effect looks really weird because it's making the warm light glint off the eye just be way too unnatural. So this one will turn off the halation, but we'll keep the grain effect now that it's going to be shifted to the 65. And we'll turn on the analog for this one. Kavai says, huge going gym every other day. To be honest, you did motivate me to go back after a small gym pause, so I worked out hard on Sunday and my body's still aching. Well, nice, man. I always feel it feels really cool, in terms of like being a quote unquote influencer. If what you can influence are, to get people to be more motivated to do creative activities, then I feel obviously very happy about that. But I think like if I can motivate someone to go to the gym or just be healthier physically or mentally, that's even better, right? It's like, oh man, maybe hopefully I'll be the reason that you live longer. But yeah. But yeah, listen, as someone who's grown up around sports and fitness my whole life, it's always felt weird this past year and a half where I've like just not going to the gym. Occasionally I work out from home, but it just doesn't hit the same. I'm not as motivated. I get distracted by everything else that I want to take care of. So it's always been something where I know, and I remember there's a big influencer. I got to attend one of his like events a long time ago, like 2 years ago. And he was explaining how he became a big influencer, blah, blah, blah. But one of the things he was talking about is he always makes it a goal, or he makes it important that he goes to the gym, and works out, whatever. Because like, in terms of your priorities, what's more important than your health, right? Like, what's the point of putting all your time into like doing whatever, trying to be successful if you're going to die just because of how poorly you're treating your body, right? So it's like your physical and mental health should be your top priority in many ways. And if you're not prioritizing it, then like something's messed up, something's effed. And obviously something was effed and my priorities were absolutely wrong. So yeah, it's like, what's the point of me going down this route if I end up destroying my body? And yeah. So every other day, most likely it won't be every other day for too long. It's just that since I'm easing my way back in, I just need a bit more time to recover in between. But ultimately, we'll probably get back into maybe just like it might even just be like a 3 to 4 days in a row going to the gym and then taking a few days off. I don't know. I shift it a bit. All right. This, I think, was the final shot we edited. I keep being wrong, so we'll see. But this is a really cool shot, so I'm excited to see how this turns out. Okay, I was wrong yet again. This was the final shot that we edited. Okay, so let's update this one. 65 ISO. There we go. There we go. All right, so we're caught up now. So this one I haven't really touched yet, although I was initially trying to see, can I replicate the edits I did here to this one? So we might still try that, but I remember when I copied it over, it made the background way too dark. So we might treat it as two separate footage. Let's take the coolest moment from the shot, maybe just right here. Look at these ladies, these grandmas looking super happy, smoking a pipe. Just enjoying life. Let's lift the exposure just a bit. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. Let's just assume this is like a, roughly speaking, a decent color correction, just so we can speed this up. Now we're in Dehancer. Same thing. We'll just go step by step. Let's choose our film stock profile. Hey Nala, where's Kimbap? Hey Kimbap. Whoa, Kimbap, what are you doing over there? I think Nala's kicked out Kimbap from his normal perch. Let me see if I can shift Nala over to this bed and bring Kimbap back. Let me tell you a story about today. Ooh, okay. Good girl. Let's see how it looks on the camera. Good girl. Alright, so right now, I assume I need to either lift the camera up, but I mean, obviously she'll be more chilling pretty low in general on this area. But this is why we also have the wide angle lens, or we have the zoom lens. So I can always pop this bad boy backwards. Haha. Look at this. We got our nice little quality lens here for this one. Although I still kind of prefer punched in. Good girl. All right, having too much fun with this. Kavai said, let me tell you a story about today. So around 11 a.m. there was rain, like very heavy rain. Oh no, not Kavai. Honyasu said this, sorry. Honyasu says, 11 a.m. there's rain, heavy rain. School got flooded. My student asked me if they could play with the rain instead of class. Since I don't feel like teaching, they play on the rain. Kids' body sure strong as heck. Nice. Well, that you sound like one of the teachers that, you know, you always wish you have. You know, the ones that aren't always like, oh, we got to go by the rule all the time. Super strict. There's something about, especially when you're kids, you just don't care. You know, you could play in the rain forever. Obviously, you don't realize you can get sick and all that. Kids' bodies sure are strong, though, yeah. Yeah, you know what? Isn't this a European thing? So maybe Kavai can speak to this. Don't a bunch of like... Oh, shoot, I forgot again. What was it? There's Nordic and Scandinavian. All Scandinavians are part of Nordic, but not all Nordic are part of Scandinavia. Was that the way to do it? Either way, I feel like some of those people, you see the videos where I know Russians do this as well, where don't they like put their baby out in the snow? Or I think I saw some video recently where they just put the baby out in the middle of a rainstorm just to like build up their immune system or something. I'm like, yo, that's crazy. Impressive, but crazy. I like this one. Cine Still 800T. This one looks nice. Putting the baby outside? Yeah, exactly. I kind of wish my parents did that with me, or in the pool, because I'm a really bad swimmer. Or I like sink. It's hard for me to stay afloat in the water. Okay, so this Fuji color looks really nice as well. Is that the one I used for this one? No, Fuji Color Natura. Fuji Color Natura. This one. I don't like this one as much. I think this Fuji Color 100 is good, so we'll stick with this. You saw that on TV as well, Hunyasu? Yeah, I saw on like social media quite a bit. Alright, we're just gonna add a little bit of a color boost on this one. Now, I really like this tonal range. So I mentioned before, but I think one of my favorite features of Dehancer, like if I'm adjusting all the sliders, adjusting the tonal range and color density tends to give me my like favorite look and feel, if you will. And I wonder what the technical reason for it is. But it's something about it just makes the shot feel much more like rich. And I guess dense with the color density. So. BD says, I saw Yorgos Lanthimos' new film Bugonia yesterday. Fantastic and enthralling as always. Well, you just threw a bunch of new words at me. So let me Google this in a second. Let's choose our profile. So this is Kodak 2383. 3513. I think I like the 3513 more. And then the glossy. Oh, I think someone explained to me. Let me ask ChatGPT about this too. Okay, Amber. I think someone told me this the other day, but I want you to verify for me. When it comes to the different print profiles that Dehancer offers, there's the Fujifilm 3513 and the Kodak 2383 print films, as well as a Kodak Endura glossy paper. Is my understanding correct that the Fujifilm 3513 and the Kodak 2383 are two of the print profiles that were often used to print the film for like cinema, whereas the Kodak Endura glossy paper is meant more for like a photo printout?
Yeah, you've got that right. Basically, those Fujifilm and Kodak print profiles are indeed modeled after the kind of film stocks that were used for cinema prints. So when movies were printed onto film for projection, those profiles like the Fujifilm 3513 or the Kodak 2383 were the standard look for how those films were printed. And then exactly, the Kodak Endura Glossy is more of a photographic paper profile. So that would be more like how a photo print would look on a glossy paper for still photography. So you're spot on. It just kind of gives you that difference between a cinema print look versus a photographic print look.
Okay, I like this look. So, yo, what's up, Kevin? What's the word? Do you have ADHD? I don't know yet. Oh, I went to. Oh yeah, I should have said this earlier. I went to the. I went to see a psychometrist today, and before that, they took a EEG, which was nice because they basically just let me go to sleep for a while, and then they were just monitoring the brain activity. And so it seems like my brain activity is normal, nothing crazy. And then the psychometrist, yeah, she just asked me a bunch of questions about my childhood and blah, blah, blah. And she was like, you know what, I'm leaning towards you don't have ADHD, but, you know, we got to do another session. They gave me some paperwork. Oh, sorry, Nala. They gave me some paperwork. I have to, like, answer some questions for the next session. Thank God the insurance is covering this. God. The moment she said, I'm giving you homework, I was like, you have... If I knew I was going to get homework, I never would have asked to do this. This is called the Cat A. I have to do this Cat A thing. Does that sound familiar? It's a rating form Cat-A. Psychological Assessment Resources. From Florida. Okay. And essentially, I have to answer all these questions about my childhood memories. And then, so part 1 is childhood memories. Part 2 is current symptoms. And it's a bunch of those, like, you know, strongly disagree, agree, or strongly agree. So, in my usual stance, I was just going to procrastinate and do this right before the appointment. Or I could do it on stream, but then what's the fun of that? Because we won't get to know from the results right away what that means. So, we'll see. But, Kevin, it sounds like they're leaning towards me not having it. So that'll be good to know. Either way, like, it's not like I'm wanting one answer over the other. I just want the right answer, essentially. I just want clarity in my life, you know? But welcome, Kevin. Thanks for being here. Oh, man, BC. Earlier, I thought you were at 90,000. Oh, yeah, so BD had mentioned something called Yorgos. Not something. Someone named Yorgos Lanthimos. Yorgos Lanthimos. He looks like a cool looking bloke, as they say. Yorgos is a Greek filmmaker and theater director, often described... Ooh, also, hold on one second. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. Look at her. Let's just take a moment and enjoy this. Now, if I had my 50mm f1.2 attached, what effect would I get? Can I punch in without distracting her? Let me see. Alright, I'm going to try to punch in. What you're looking at right now is what we call a good girl. I can't tell if the focus is on properly. There we go. Focus locked in. Now, if I had a David Attenborough voice, I could give a bit more narration here, but... Some would say this is overkill. I say this is just right. You'll have to find your stimulants elsewhere. Yeah, all of this is just a ploy to get some drugs. Listen, I don't want drugs. Unless it gets covered by insurance, then maybe okay, let's consider that. But I'm not trying to spend more money to drug myself if I don't need it. Okay, so Yorgos Lanthimos is a Greek filmmaker, and so BD was saying there's a movie he just came out with called Bugonia. Oh, he did the movie Poor Things and The Lobster. I see. Was The Lobster an A24 produced film or something? Okay. We're done with the cat for now. Poor Things. I did watch that. That was very, very peculiar movie. I think I enjoyed it, I think. Usually I do like movies that are a bit quirky. That might have been a bit more than I expected, though. The Lobster, I did like this movie. And Bugonia. Wait, is this that one lady who plays Stranger not Stranger Things. Doctor Strange. Okay, I'll just click on it. Oh no, it's someone else. Who did I think this was? It looked like the lady who plays Doctor Strange's boss or whatever. Ooh, it's an absurdist black comedy. I do like these black comedies. 86% Rotten Tomatoes. Two conspiracy-obsessed men kidnap the CEO of a major company when they become convinced that she's an alien. Oh, wait, I heard about this. Yo, I heard about this movie. Oh, man. Oh, Emma Stone is in it again. Wasn't she the one in Poor Things or something? BD says the favorite Poor Things Kinds of Kindness. Okay. I've only seen The Lobster, and I like Colin Farrell quite a bit. So I like these kind of yeah, what do you call these? It's very quirky. It feels a bit satirical, like when people act a way that's not natural, but no one seems to react to it the way you would expect. Kind of like in Wes Anderson films, where you feel like all the kids are acting very mature, and then the adults are acting very immature, but no one seems to like call it out. Is that the absurdist part of it? I don't know. Okay, I didn't know that was this guy. Gotcha. So it sounds like BD, you're saying I should watch the movie called The Favorite and Kinds of Kindness. Is this all Emma Stone? Yo, actually, I like that a lot. If I ever become like a filmmaker, I think I would do the exact same thing. I would just hire the same people that I like over and over again. Jesse Plemons, I like this guy. The Temu version of Matt Damon. Although, I don't mean to knock his performance. I think he's an amazing actor. And The Favorite. Okay. Oh, it's on Disney Plus. Nice. Comedy thriller. Yo, those are like some of my favorite genres when they mix it. Awesome. Well, damn. I almost feel like cutting this stream short so I can start watching this while I work. Okay, so I think we've finished the color grade on this one. Let's check it out. And let's slow it down. Dun, 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 dun. We'll slow it down and we'll cut it as well. So what is this? 60 frames? What a nice moment. Actually, let's not cut it just in case. But then we will stabilize this. This might be the best decision I made when it comes to my stream. This is why I wasn't joking. I was like, yo, if I set up one of my other phones, if I set up my iPhone and start doing TikTok streams where it's literally just pointing at my cat bed and that's it, sadly, there's a world where I would get more people watching that than watching me doing my streams. That's just the way of the world, you know? Okay, stabilization's done. Let's check this footage out real quick. Adorable. Actually, I will cut this. So I think from maybe here. All right, now we're on to Mongolia. So some of these footages, for those of you who've been part of my stream from way back, some of this should look familiar to you. because these are shots taken from my first trip to Mongolia. Now, one thing I'm trying to think about, should I just do this now, is shout out to Just Passing By. Yesterday for giving some advice. So I need to make some changes to my power grade. So one, I think I'm going to split Dehancer into 2 nodes. So then one node, I'll kind of set the default for the film grain, the halation, and the bloom effect, which usually I use quite a bit. So then that will be like Dehancer for when I want the film look, like the textural kind of stuff, I guess maybe. And then the other node will be for all the color-based stuff. And then apparently I need to shift my vignette node to before Rec 709. So anyways, so we got this footage here. I believe it is converted properly. Now we just got to drop the exposure. Okay, let's say, you know what, that's good enough. And also I should probably zoom into the key shot. So we can probably drop the exposure even further. Okay, so let's say we got this shot. And let's just try to do everything in Dehancer. Yep, Fuji Color 100 is a winner. Yo, Lee Nam. Yo, thank you very much, Lee Nam. You subscribed on YouTube. I appreciate it. Yes. What is one of the goals I have? Oh yeah, I have kind of a soft goal for myself, is to reach 10,000 subscribers on YouTube by the end of the year. So we got healthy, 2 months left. Although the last 2 weeks of December, I have my mom is actually visiting Dubai for the first time since I've been out here. So there's a chance I might not be streaming for the last 2 weeks of December, potentially. Just because it might be a bit tough to do that while she's around. I don't live in a big place, right? So, but yes, the goal is, can I reach 10,000 subscribers on YouTube in 2 months? Right now, I'm just over 9,000. So again, thank you everyone who's been supporting me. The videos that I made recently definitely kind of helped me out quite a bit. So that was the short film that I made using the Nikon ZR. And then it was my Nikon ZR review video. So thankfully it got very positive reception. And I think, yeah, it's been fun to see everyone's comments. I do read all the comments and stuff, this one's a bit too cool, maybe. I still think the Fuji Color 100 is the best one. This one's not bad. Okay, I think we're gonna go with the Fuji 100. Let's do a little bit of that color boost here. Just a little bit. Film compression. Alright, same thing. We're going to try to boost this almost all the way. And then see if I can adjust the others to kind of get it back to something usable. If not, we'll undo all this. Okay, maybe something like this. Okay. Let's choose our print profile. I'm not sure which direction I want to go. I'm assuming I kind of want something a bit more on the cool side, just to represent the environment that they're in. So something like this. I just need to lift the blacks just a bit. Okay, let's say this is good. Turn on that grain, halation, and bloom. And then I'll probably just cut it from like roughly here, maybe. We don't need the full flights. It's gonna be too long. Because I think this is shot in 120 frames per second, which it was. And let's stabilize the footage. And let's enjoy my cat. Wow. Look at her just chilling. Although I guess once she kind of chills like this, I need to figure out how can I raise the camera up a bit higher. So then you guys get a nice, you know, downward shot of my cat. Okay, this is done. Let's check this out. Let's see the before. So this is the before and after. It's a bit more subtle in terms of the changes, at least in this shot, or in this moment. And I think it might look a bit more drastically different once we hit this area. Yeah. Yeah, and this is like the hero shot right here. It's just this moment here. Okay. Cool, cool. Next one. Now this is our epic moment. Riders in the blizzard. So again, this should be a bit familiar to anyone who's seen my recent YouTube videos or was part of my streams before. So this was like the most epic moment of my... It might actually be the top... It's definitely in the top 5 for me in terms of like travel shots that I got to be a part of. There's something about being in this crazy blizzard. Again, this was like -40 degree weather that we were essentially in the entire time. And seeing these guys riding through the thick of it was something else. Although, I think I have a better version. Hold on, let me see. Yeah, actually, we have a better... Let me pick the other one. Find in media pool. Where is it? Okay, so let me choose. This is 6508. And this is in which folder? WD18. Okay. 2024. What day is this? 16. Would I say 6508? So then let's try 6507 maybe? Yeah. So this is actually the key one. Let's drag this in. Hold on. Oh wait, I thought I was done, but apparently we have more footages. I forgot to drag these in, didn't I? Oh no, just when I thought I was done. Shit. I mean, I'm not really complaining. These are all great shots. Right? These are my favorite, some of my favorite shots from my travels. But now I realize what I thought would be done in the next, like, hour may not be. It's okay. This is what I get for working so slow. Alright, so let me get rid of this one. Let's drag these guys in here. Also, I need to learn the other shortcuts. I know there's all kinds of shortcuts within DaVinci. I had some videos that I had lined up and I just forgot to press play. The work is never finished. Yes, exactly.
The
Photo.
work is never finished.
Why does that sound like the Joker voice, not the ASMR? What's up, Photo Elites? Welcome back. Welcome to the stream. Hopefully you're having a good day. Productive day. I thought I was having a productive day, but I was, to be honest, being kind of slow with it as well. And part of it was because I thought I was at the finish line of all of the color grading. And then I just realized I had a whole second batch folder of other shots that I wanted to add to this. So we got a bit more to go, but we got some really cool shots coming up. So you win some, you lose some. And maybe this will force me to be faster. So let's try that. So I'm going to go to gallery, go to my power grade, trees. It's going to be the NRAW version, apply grade. Then we're going to go to our primaries. We're going to drop the exposure quite a bit. And let's go to our hero moment as they ride in. This part here. Okay. And then let's just take care of everything else with Dehancer, see what we get. This will be interesting. This is actually a good test because, yeah, most of the shot is just like pure white, right? It's just like a blizzard, blinding snow. And then you see the silhouettes cut through. So I'm almost curious, like, what direction do I want to go with this? I feel like black and white could be nice. So this could finally be one of our black and white options to test out. Let's see. This one's okay. Yep, Fuji color. Never lets me down. Fuji color 100. Dun, 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 dun. Let me join this heist. Yeah, I feel like this one could be nice for like a black and white shot. It's just I don't really work with black and whites often. Oh, also Photo Elite. My cat camera is set up now, or we officially have my cat chilling there, so it's in use. Okay, yeah, I just honestly I don't really know how to play with black and white too often. It could look nice here. Let's slow it down to 20% speed. Yeah, I just don't. Okay, let's try. What's the harm in trying? So, what do we even turn on here? Contrast boost, maybe? Interesting. Okay. Well, now with the black and white, I feel like I can blast the contrast boost, which I never do. And it seems to look all right. What about this color boost? What does that do? So in this case, I would just drop the boost. Okay, this could be an interesting edit. I'm not sure. We're about to see. Okay. Honestly, I can't really tell what effect we're about to have on this shot. Now, this one, I actually think having a lot more grain kind of makes sense. Because obviously you got the snow, so it just kind of having it obscured doesn't actually harm it. Although, just for continuity's sake, we're going to try to go back to that 65mm for everything. We'll turn on the halation and the bloom. But as part of that, I think I'm going to try to cool down the temperature just a bit. Oh, and then it looks pretty nasty here. Oof. Oh, you know what? Interesting. Because I was editing for a moment where it was obscured in the snow, and I thought it looked great. But then, once it was cleared up, it turned super nasty. So, we might have to undo a bunch of things here. Because that looks bad, obviously. Photo says, here's something to add to your list. Add more effing shit to the the channel point rewards on Twitch. Yo, I would like to, but I have so many things I have to do, man. There's too many things. I need to create the badge first. Also, yeah, what other things can I add? I could add the thing where it's like I'll edit one of your photos or something on the stream. That could be fun. But yeah, I don't know what other. If you can give me some good suggestions, that would be super helpful. I've been so stretched thin right now. Yeah. But based on your language, I feel like something must be done. So we shall. Okay, let me redo this bad boy. So unfortunately, I made adjustments for the wrong area. It was this freaking contrast. I did call that out. I was like, oh, interesting. Because usually the contrast boost I don't really touch. Because as you can imagine, it adds so much contrast that it darkens the image. But for that one shot, when you're obscured in the snow, it looked perfect. So maybe we'll just add just a bit for this one. Let's see where's the worst culprit. It doesn't look bad for most of this area, so we'll just stick to, just find one of the darker moments here. Okay. Let's see, what else can we do? How's the color boost? Honyasu says, I just got micro sleep. I'll sleep now. Have fun streaming. Good night. Thank you again, Honyasu. I appreciate the raid, as always. Thanks for your presence. And have a good night. Photo says, 99% of what I would suggest requires streamer bot to function. That bot is kind of the linchpin I put everything on. What is streamer bot? Is that like a Twitch thing? I think I have like the streamer. I have stream element, I think, attached to my thing, and then the TWCC, and then coffee, I think somehow has some kind of bot thing that I've allowed. I'm not sure. Streamer bot. Should I download that? Or is it do you download such a thing? Streamer bot. Streamer.bot. No, you have Streamlabs, different. Oh, this is like competitor to Streamlabs? Ah. Welcome to the dark side. Huh. Wait, Photo, were you the one who was telling me about how shitty Streamlabs is as a company? Like, ethically speaking or something? Because I think I remember that, and I was trying to research to see, like, okay, well, look, not that I'm always, like, you know, I don't necessarily lean into the world of, like, you know, we must cancel everything about someone or something. But I did at least put in some concerted effort to see, like, oh, could there be another platform that I use? So I tried to shift over to Stream Elements, but then Stream Elements apparently had limitations where certain overlays would only show up on one of my platforms, not necessarily for both, or like some of the alerts would only work based on some weird thing. So, or I'd have to duplicate the same overlay to make it work. And there's something about that that just ended up being annoying. Because again, since I since I multi-stream, it was always just about like, can I have something that will allow me to work on all three? Does streamer bot work for multi-stream? It's designed to work with allowing you to manage. Does it work with Kick? Maybe that's what it was. I'm not sure. This is yes. Okay, I'll put this to the list then of things to do off stream of researching. See what I'm saying? My list is only growing, okay? Now I have to look into the streamer bot thing. We gotta look into the Twitch channel points, additional things to do with it. I have to look into Phantom LUTs and the NBCU LUT. There's the Nobi Omniscope. Man. And these are all just for curiosity right now. So well, let me just double check this. Streamer.bots. Each supported platform has its own set of features. Twitch, YouTube, Kick, Trovo. Okay, okay. Where does it talk about like multi-streaming? So, okay, so I have my OBS. Triggers. Oh, it connects to Discord. Could it then carry over those little badges that I want? Showing who's Team Nikon, Team Canon. Extended features. Okay, okay. Oh, man, too many things. You said this bot connects with everything, and it's a competitor to Streamlabs the way a Toyota competes with a Ferrari. Okay, okay. Wait, does it have a point system? Because obviously I don't want to lose my PPs, right? We have people here who have spent a lot of time growing their PP, and who am I to chop it off? If they got a PP function or point system, that'd be interesting. Let me ask ChatGPT. How does streamer.bot compare with Streamlabs for multi-streaming and for the features?
Yeah, absolutely. So when you're looking at something like Streamer.bot versus Streamlabs, they kind of have different strengths. Streamer.bot is really great if you want a lot of custom automation. It lets you do all these detailed commands and triggers, and you can get really hands-on with how you set up your interactions and chat responses. Streamlabs, on the other hand, is more of an all-in-one suite. It's kind of plug and play and a bit more user-friendly if you just want to get things going quickly. For multi-streaming, Streamlabs has a built-in multi-stream feature if you have their premium plan, so you can stream on multiple platforms at once pretty easily. Streamer.bot doesn't have that built in, but it can integrate with other tools. So it really depends on whether you want something super customizable or something that's a bit more all-in-one and streamlined.
Well, okay, I use OBS. So just to clarify, I'm using OBS as the actual, I guess, creating the scenes and the broadcasts, and then I use Restream.io currently to then to send that broadcast into YouTube, Twitch, and Kick simultaneously. And then I use Streamlabs currently for just random functionalities, I believe. Things like having a leaderboard of like point systems, a few of the alerts and overlays, I believe. But I'm happy to switch to Streamer.bot if it can replicate all the things that I'm using Streamlabs for, and then some.
Yeah, I got it. So in that case, since you're already using OBS and Restream for the actual broadcasting and multi-streaming, all you're really looking at is whether Streamer.bot can cover those extra features like your alerts, your overlays, your point systems. And the good news is it can. Streamer.bot is really flexible. You can set up all sorts of custom commands. You can do your own point systems. You can handle alerts in a really customizable way. So basically anything that you're doing in Streamlabs for those interactive elements, you can move over to Streamer.bot. It might take a little bit of setup because it's more customizable, but you'll have a lot of flexibility. So yeah, if you're happy to switch and you want that kind of control, Streamer.bot should be able to do what you need.
Okay, so except for this very tail end here, where either I would have to do some keyframing, everything else looks nice, or it looks very interesting. Again, not that I do black and white stuff often, but it kind of looks decent. Actually, can we do a keyframe on this one? So this is corrector number 23. How does this work with Dehancer? So let's say if we have a moment here. If I click on this guy and adjust it. No, it doesn't show up. So maybe Dehancer doesn't work with keyframes? Or maybe just some of the settings I'll have to do. Alright, doesn't matter. I think majority of this looks good. That could be usable for like our montage. Photo, you said it doesn't, there's no should. It can literally do anything you can imagine. If somebody else hasn't created it before you, you just crack your knuckles and code it. Oh, well, that's the thing. I don't know the first thing about coding. And like I said, my laundry list of things I have to take care of is like only growing, not shrinking. So, but actually, you know what? I listen, Photo Elite, this is how much I trust you. If you say something is good, I tend to realize like, okay, it's warranted. There's a good justification for it. So I am genuinely going to look into this and just kind of see if I can just eyeball and roughly get a sense of like how much time would it take for me to convert the scenes or whatever alerts that I've set up with Streamlabs into StreamerBot, then I'll do it. Also, I wonder, I'm assuming you could use Streamlabs and StreamerBot at the same time, technically as well. I have no idea. Anyways, let's keep editing. This one, do I really want to do the same thing? I don't think so. We'll try. Let's see. For this one, I feel like I want to maintain the colors. Also, it's just going to be this short moment here, so we don't want the rest. We just want to... That's it. The rest we delete. Slow this down. 40%. Yeah, okay. Let's try something new on this one. First, let's adjust the color correction primaries. We're going to go into the global exposure, drop it down. Let's switch back over to the waveform view. Something like this. Okay. And now let's test Dehancer. Again, with these kind of like pure white shots, I'm not sure what the rules of engagement are with this, but we'll find out. Photo says ChatGPT created the TWCC chatbot, so yeah, there's no... Hold on, I gotta clear my throat. Man, if you guys can see, it's so weird. Oh yeah, I guess you can't see from this angle. It's weird how she can fit herself into that freaking Amazon box. Uncanny. I guess you can kind of see it here, but it just doesn't make sense. Cats don't make sense. You said there's no limit on that. I just prefer to use StreamerBot for it, since having it all in one place is nice and easier. Yeah, for sure. Also, it's not a cloud bot. It runs locally on your computer. Oh, okay. How's the bot being hosted? Locally on your PC. The one that low base guy made. I have no idea how he's hosting his bot, but StreamerBot is hosted locally. Okay. So you basically would need to download it. You sent me a YouTube link. Let's check this out.
I'm guessing one of your streamer friends told you about a cool thing
Oh,
called
this guy.
StreamerBot, and then you were like,
Man, people keep referencing this guy a lot, Nutty. And it seems like he leans in on the NSFW kind of stuff, right? I mean, I guess he's called Nutty.
what the hell is that? And they were like, well, yeah, look up this dude Nutty on YouTube. He's got like hella videos in that. And then now you're here.
Basically.
What there, man? If you've ever used one of those bots like Nightbot or Streamlabs where you type in a command and then it spits out a response, well,
Yeah.
streamer bots like that,
What?
but on steroids.
No way.
And I mean, like the stuff that they used on the horses that one time in Germany. You can have it play sound effects, automatically
Okay.
change scenes in OBS for you, toggle filters and effects on your camera, post screenshots from your screen directly to your Discord, custom point systems.
Ooh.
And you can automatically trigger those effects anytime you get a sub, anytime you get a raid, whenever somebody spends channel points. It's insanely powerful. And if you need any proof of how cool StreamerBot is, Pirate Software uses it. And that guy says all these cool stuff in YouTube shorts. And that means he's like trustworthy and stuff.
Wait, when did he make this? 9 months ago? When did all that pirates? I don't know all the. I don't know all of streamer lore kind of stuff, right? But I do know that guy. His name is. He's like Kryptonite, right? Or is that the right reference? Nobody wants to associate with that guy these days, right? He's lolcow is the term I've heard. Although I don't exactly know what a lolcow is, but that dude has made a fool of himself. Did he make a fool of himself 9 months ago? Is that why he's being sarcastic about him right now or acting this way? He makes PP and poo-poo jokes. He's not NSFW. No, he's definitely NSFW. I was on his website earlier, the nutty.gg. And even on his when he was giving instructions, he put just for fun, one of the link descriptions, he put some NSFW website. There's some clear reference somewhere here that was very much NSFW. Something, yeah, here he's got something called Lotion Time. There's a few things I saw. I was like, okay, this guy, he's definitely edgy in a way where it's like, I don't understand why. Why are you being this edgy? I don't know who he is. Like, I don't know if that's like, yeah, what is his original brand that would lead him to want to be that way? Not that, I mean, I'm not saying in a judgmental way. I'm just curious. You don't see people doing that.
Also, he's like on the website next to my name. And that's pretty cool. It's even got voice commands. So imagine being able to say, switch to just chatting, and OBS automatically changes scenes.
Wow.
I made this thing where whenever I ban someone on Twitch, it ejects them from my stream with their name and profile picture in a little Amogus dude. And all that is completely automated thanks to StreamerBot. Big news. I just launched a website for streamers. You can skip to this timestamp here if you want to know more about that. But for now, let me show you how to set up StreamerBot. To this
Wait, what did he say?
here. Big news. I just launched a website for streamers. You can skip to this timestamp here if you want to know more about that. But for now, let me show you how to set up StreamerBot. Stop being cringe and paying full price for Windows with our sponsor, VIP SD Keys. You can get a Windows 11 license for as low as $21. Just use my code NUTTY at checkout to get them for 30% off. And if you want to get them for a little bit cheaper, you can get a Windows 10 key for $15, and those can be updated to Windows 11 completely for free. You can pay using a secure...
Oh, I guess maybe... I'm assuming it works with Mac computers as well. Although he's mentioning a bunch of Windows stuff, so I'm curious. He's got the humor of a 13-year-old, but that's his brand. Listen, more power to him, but, you know, it's an interesting choice. You know?
Secure payment method like PayPal. They'll send you an activation code immediately, and then you can put that in your Windows settings, and you're good to go. Check out VIP SD Keys in the link down below. Okay, first things first, let's download StreamerBot. So head to the website. It's literally streamer.bot. That's actually the website. And just click download. You'll get a zip file, so just unzip that wherever you want. And inside of that folder, just launch streamer.bot.exe. Now you're gonna get absolutely solar flared when you open this because this is light mode only, baby. I know this looks straight out of Windows 95, but trust me, it's easier than it looks. Let's get some initial setup out of the way. So first we're gonna connect your Twitch and your YouTube accounts. So head on over to platforms, Twitch, accounts, and just click on log in. You can read all this stuff if you want, press authorize, and then you're done. There's also a second login for a bot account. So you know how if you've used Nightbot before, when you type in a command, it always responds back as Nightbot. With this, you can have your own custom name. So you can just make a second Twitter.
What is Nightbot? I've seen that before. I just haven't used it. Dude, how many bots are there? Jesus. Nightbot. Essential streamer tool for automating live chat messages, moderation, and more. Okay, jeez.
Twitch account with whatever name that you want. So that you
Streamer bot works on Mac. Oh, thanks.
And then you
Thanks,
just
Photo.
log in here with the bot account. I'm not gonna do that because just save some time. For YouTube, just go over to the YouTube tab, go and click I agree into the accounts, and then select auto connect and sign in with Google. Make sure when you get to this step that you check the manage your YouTube account checkbox. You need to enable this. So a lot of people miss this out, so make sure you check this. And that's it, YouTube is done. We also need to connect OBS to StreamerBot so that StreamerBot can change scenes for you and turn sources on and off. And to do that, we need to turn on a thing called WebSockets. WebSockets is like, it's like a tunnel that allows OBS and StreamerBot, allows them to talk to each other. That's basically all it is. So in OBS, come up to Tools, WebSocket Server Settings, make sure Enable WebSocket Server is on. And then also, if you have a password, click Show Connect Info and copy your password. I don't care if you know my password. What are you gonna do, hack me? Please don't do that. Then back in StreamerBot, head on over to Stream Apps.
You said there's a few hundred bots, probably more. Damn. Okay, so here's the kind of oh no, I guess it wouldn't be called a bot. Well, everything he said so far and what you're explaining sounds really enticing. So if I could use voice commands, if there are things that will you know, add some visual effects and sound effects to the overlay, that'd be great. Yeah, because like I would like it. I'm sure there are things existing already. I just haven't had the time to research. Where if someone like gives me a raid or subscribes to me and stuff like that, I would like to be able to do a bit more than whatever's happening now, right? If I can have some big animation stuff happen or whatever. I just, now that I've set it up, I've just been a bit more like, okay, we've got the baseline, so let me work on other things that I need to focus on first. But sounds like this tool can do a lot of things. One, I do want a soundboard, so I have my little stream deck, and I should be able to, you know, put a bunch of different soundboard stuff. Soundboard and like GIFs or whatever to show up. That'd be fun. Yeah. Anyways, those kind of things would be really useful. And it seems like he's saying it can do a lot of that.
OBS, add, and then you just put in your information there. So you just give it a name, whatever, just OBS, port, whatever the port is in your
docs.streamer.bot,
settings,
get
and then
started.
password. Check auto connect and reconnect, and then press OK. And then also make sure to right click it and then click connect. And if you did it properly, it should say connected up here, and over on the right here, you'll see a bunch of sources that you have inside of OBS. If you don't see that there, either you messed up or I messed up. Either way, it's someone's fault, and I ain't the one in front of the computer, so I'm blaming you. Okay, fix it. Okay, you're on your own for this one. Now that the boring stuff's out of the way, we can finally start making some cool stuff. And the place where all that cool stuff happens is in the Actions tab. You can think of it.
Okay, so this was 9 months ago. This other video you sent me is from 2 months ago, so I'll watch this
This is
one.
the brand new StreamerBot 1.0 update. It's a completely brand new UI, so every other video I've done in StreamerBot, they are all irrelevant now. If you've never heard about StreamerBot before,
Well, good thing I paused and started watching this one.
you're gonna have a really good time because this thing's fucking awesome. You can think of it like one of those chatbots, like the one you get from Streamlabs or Stream Elements, but way more powerful. It runs locally on your own PC, and you can do basically anything you can think of, from simple chat commands and timed messages to channel point rewards that activate things like sound effects or even camera filters inside of OBS. You can do full
Ooh.
automations, like whenever you switch to your BRB screen, automatically start an ad break. Whenever you start your stream,
Oh, that would be interesting. So you can actually control when the ads play. Because then that way, obviously, I don't have to annoy people with all the ads. I can just BRB, sync it to the ad playing. Oh yeah, something he said, I was like, oh, that could be an interesting idea. Or if you could, I don't know how this would work, but if I had my camera set up and people can use points to adjust the LUT. So let's say if I had my Nikon ZR attached as my main camera, so this guy here, and then if you could use channel points to automatic, well, I guess that wouldn't work, would it? I guess it would have to just be whatever digitally they can alter. Okay, scratch that. I don't know where I was going with that. I was like, it'd be cool if you can all of a sudden just change the filter based on some LUTs that I created. But yeah, that's too much. Photo says, my God, have you not used the ad scheduler on Twitch? I don't think so. I just did whatever Maple, basically at one point Maple told me like, hey, change these things, make it so the ads all happen at once every hour, I think. I think that was it. I don't know. But yeah, if I could do something like that, that'd be cool. Interesting.
Stream in OBS. Automatically post a message to Discord. Whenever somebody donates to you, automatically pump up the brightness of your Elgato key lights to 100% and flashbang you. It's even got voice automatically pump up, post a message to Discord. Whenever somebody donates to you, automatically pump up the brightness of your Elgato key lights to 100% and flashbang you. It's even got voice controls, so you can control OBS using just your voice. Give me gamer vision. This thing's like crank.
Wow.
Which I've never done before.
Yo, my hair is longer than
New
his.
Sponsor today, boots.dev.
So my hair, I think, is actually longer than this dude's.
Hands-on assignments that you can play around with. You're not just gonna be watching some guy talk for like 10 hours. You'll actually get to write your own real code within your browser and then run it so you can see what it's actually doing. Super cool. They got this bear, and his name is Boots, and he's like a wizard and stuff. And you can literally ask him a question about
Photo, you said you can just put those LUTs as filter sources in OBS?
like a
Really?
real bear wizard would do.
And StreamerBot can just activate and deactivate those as
the full
needed.
Context about the assignment that you're working on, so it's not like you're.
Wait, how does that work? Obviously, I know nothing, but you're saying like you can take a LUT file and then somehow attach it as like a separate scene in OBS, and then whenever you program the StreamerBot thing to do it, it'll apply that as a filter to your, as like an overlay. I didn't know LUTs could do that. I thought it was like, I thought LUTs were just more of like, it communicates with the cameras directly in terms of, or I guess the software, like DaVinci or whatever softwares as well. Not a scene, a filter? Okay, fair enough. So are you saying I could do that right now? I could take one of the LUTs that I've created, and I would be able to take that cube file or whatever it's called as a filter inside of OBS? Man, the world is your oyster. Jesus.
Just asking ChatGPT to solve the thing for you. I recommend checking out the JavaScript course. Most of the widgets I've made use JavaScript, and I kind of wish that I had this when I started because I didn't know any JavaScript, and I was just making stuff up as I went along. Check out boot.dev in the link down below.
All right, shot looked really good. I like it.
25% off your first year of their annual membership. Let's get this thing set up. First, head on over to streamer.bot. That is literally the website, and just click download. Get whatever the latest version is. Right-click the zip file and extract that wherever you want, and launch streamerbot.exe. Get this Windows protected thing, just click more info and run anyway. First thing you need to do is get your streaming platforms connected. So just click on platforms here and log in with whatever platforms you happen to stream to. So it supports Twitch, YouTube, some platform nobody cares about, and finally Kick. We'll start with Twitch. Now, first thing you'll notice is there are 2 accounts you can connect. So broadcaster account is obviously going to be the account that you normally stream with. So just click on that and scroll down and click authorize. And the second login is optional. So this would be for your bot account. So you know how normally when you use something like Nightbot or Streamlabs, whenever you type in a chat command, it responds back using the Streamlabs account. Well, with StreamerBot, you can actually have your own custom name. So all you'd have to do is create a second Twitch account and set that as your second bot account here. And so every time you use a chat command later, it's going to respond back with whatever your bot account is. YouTube and Kick are exactly the same. So for YouTube, just click I agree here. And there's also 2 accounts. You got a broadcaster and a bot account. So exactly the same for those 2. Now for Kick specifically, you are gonna have to do one extra step. It will say you need to connect to the StreamerBot website by clicking login in the bottom left corner. So if you are streaming on Kick, make sure that you log in here. It's gonna ask you to log in with your Discord account, which I've already done. And once you log in here, go into your account and just make sure you have your Kick connected in here as well. I don't know why you need to do this extra step, but it tells you have to do it. So you just do it, okay? Allow access, and we're good. So if it says ready here, you should be all good. And if you close this down, you should be all connected for Kick. Now in the top right corner, you're gonna see all of your connected accounts and they should all be green. If Kick is still yellow, just click log out and log back in again. But once everything's connected, you can click on this button that says chat. So StreamerBot has its own built-in multi-chat tool. So if you've been looking for a way to combine all of your messages from Twitch, Kick, and YouTube into a single stream so you can easily keep track of them, that's built into StreamerBot. And
Huh. Because I think I use Restream for that right now. I think, right? I think my Restream, I'm using Restream for the multi-chat function as well. Man, interesting.
And you can even respond in chat. So if I type in hello, it's gonna write it in Twitch chat and Kick chat. And if I was actually live on YouTube, it would also post a message to YouTube. We'll come back to this later. Let's get StreamerBot connected to OBS now. So let's go back home, and this time we'll click on Stream Apps and OBS Studio. Right click and go to add. Now, in order to connect StreamerBot to OBS so that StreamerBot can control things in OBS like changing scenes and toggling sources, we need to enable a thing called WebSocket server. Basically, WebSockets are a way for OBS to connect to third-party programs so that it can like communicate with each other. Okay, it's pretty simple. So just go into OBS, click on Tools, WebSocket server settings, and enable WebSocket server. Take note of your server port. It should be 4455. Then copy your server password. So click show connect info and just copy that server password. Then back in StreamerBot, just paste in your password and give this connection a name. Just call it something like OBS. Turn on auto connect on startup and reconnect on disconnect. Then press OK. Now it should say disconnected here, so right click and connect it. And if you did everything right, which I definitely didn't do, what the fuck did I do wrong? Oh, I didn't click OK yet. Okay, you have to click apply, then allow, then press OK. All right, now we're cooking. It says connected here. If you did everything right, it should say whatever your current scene in OBS is here. So mine says gaming. I'm on my gaming scene. If I switch to just chatting, it should say just chatting in StreamerBot. So StreamerBot now is communicating with OBS. That's good. That's the bare minimum you need to set up StreamerBot. But if you want to do some extra stuff and go the extra mile, go into the integrations tab, and here there are a whole bunch of other things that you can connect to StreamerBot. So for example, if you use Streamlabs or Stream Elements for donations, you can connect your Streamlabs or Stream Elements account to StreamerBot so you can make stuff react to donations. There's things like heart rate monitors, or if you've got an Elgato microphone, you can connect Elgato Wavelink to StreamerBot. It's really cool stuff, but I'll let you guys figure all that stuff out on your own. So now that everything's set up, we can start actually doing some cool stuff. And the place where all of that cool stuff happens is the actions page. So click on actions and go into actions. Now this is the page that you're gonna want to get really familiar with. On the left-hand side, you have a list of all of your actions. You can think of an action kind of like a recipe, you know? It's like a thing that you want to do. So for example, if you want to set up a chat command where anytime someone types in !Discord in your chat, automatically post a link to your Discord. that would be an example of an action. The right-hand side is all of the ingredients for that action. I don't really know where I'm going with this analogy. It made sense in my head. Anyway, let's just right click and we'll add a new action. And this one, we'll call it Discord. Every action has two parts. We have how we want that thing to be triggered, and then the thing that we actually want it to do. So come under sub actions and right click and click add. And you can see a whole bunch of things that you can do with an action. So for example, if you wanted to post a message into Twitch chat, well, you just search for it here under chat and go send message. Join my cult link. Press OK. Now we want to think, when do we actually want this thing to actually happen? And that's what this triggers menu would be for. So if you right click and go to add, how do we want this thing to be triggered? We want it to be triggered every time somebody types in !Discord in chat. So we just come under here, go to core, commands, command triggered, and we're gonna create a new chat command. Now there's a lot going on in this box here.
Okay. It sounds like most of this I should just watch off stream, but duly noted, photo. It sounds like I should be switching to StreamerBot, and it should be worth my time to do the update. Oh, fine. Well, thank you. I appreciate that a lot. That will definitely up our streaming game. I like the edits I did on this one, so I just want to see it in slow motion. So here's our before. Nothing wrong with the before, but yeah, we add a bit more personality to this shot. This one I decided to go with a slightly warmer tone, whereas the other kind of snow shots I cooled it down. But I do like slightly more warm. I think the reasoning I feel is kind of the coating of this animal. There's nothing wrong with it being a warmer tone, because it's like, oh yeah, this thing can survive the cold. It's got to, you know, yeah, it survives by being warm still. I think the shot looks good though. And always when you got snow in the air, it just makes it look super cool. Okay. Now, let's move on to this one. If we use the shot, it'll be somewhere around here that we cut. Photo says I sent you a DM with the short video on how to add a LUT in OBS. Ooh, thank you, thank you. Okay, that's gonna be okay. That's another to-do list then, because I think that would be a fun feature, especially as I start creating my own LUTs. If we can actually apply the LUT to myself, why not? It's like a free marketing ploy as well, right? It's like, oh, you see the effect, you want to buy the effect, go to my website. So what do we say? Adding LUT effect in OBS. Well, thank you. Okay, I think I'm just going to cut this part. So we don't need any of that. We'll just use this part. And then I don't think we need to change much with the corrections. Maybe just slightly lift it up. All right, let's work with Dehancer. Oh man, I'm getting so hungry right now. You can watch that right now. It's a little bit longer than necessary, but it's a 3-step process. Takes about 30 seconds. Okay. Do 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 do. Check out available rewards. A new location for quests, so you never miss out on the latest rewards. Oh yeah, that was the other question. Should I upgrade to Nitro? Should I upgrade to Discord Nitro? What are the benefits that comes with it that are actually useful?
Yeah, totally. So the big thing with Discord Nitro is it just kind of gives you a bunch of little perks that make your Discord experience nicer. For example, you get higher quality video for your streams. You can use custom emojis anywhere. You can boost servers to give them extra features, and you get a bigger file upload limit. So it's kind of just like a bunch of quality of life upgrades. If you use Discord a lot and you really want those perks, it can be worth it. But if you're just a casual user, you might not need it. So it just depends on how much you want those little extra bonuses.
Okay. You don't use Discord enough to warrant Nitro? Yeah, I mean, I want to keep using it, obviously. Like, as we build up the community, then, you know, as we have more features. I told you, like, I also want to start doing the, yeah, I would figure out how to do, like, video and voice calls during streams and stuff. So, the aspiration is there. I just have to obviously build up, yeah, build up the community more and get some time in with it. Okay, Photo, I have to download that video you sent me, so I think I'll just watch it later off stream. I think it just makes more sense. Also, I'm getting freaking hungry right now. Holy Christ. What did I want to look up earlier? Best tips. He said you shouldn't have to download it, should embed, no problem, since it's MP4. Yeah, but I can play it, but then I can't play it on the stream, so it just kind of, it'll just be audio stuff. Listen, I'll just watch it off stream. There's no issues. You said, actually, I curse, so yeah, watch off stream. Nice. Okay, I thought I saw some new videos come out where I was like, oh, I should watch this for some interesting tips for DaVinci editing. But as I look at this now, I'm like, oh, I don't care anymore. How to be a filmmaker. How to master the art of filmmaking. Morgan Freeman on what? How to start filmmaking. Okay. ISO settings. Your ISO settings are wrong. Okay. Have I seen this one? Let me see.
Have you ever tried shooting a low-light, dimly lit scene? You expose for the mood that you want, maybe you bump up the ISO a little bit, but no matter what you do, it always looks noisy to a degree. But then you look at movies like The Social Network or The Batman, just to name two, and they look freaking clean. And it makes you want to throw away your dual native ISO camera because you bought it mainly for its low light capabilities. But seriously, how do we turn this into this? How about we shatter some myths? Brace yourself, because maybe everything you thought you knew about exposing to the right, ISO, low light, and noise could be completely off track. To begin, it's crucial that we dismiss the notion that ISO directly affects exposure. While it's true that ISO does have an impact on exposure, the effect isn't really straightforward. Essentially, ISO affects our judgment of exposure, but it doesn't alter the amount of light actually hitting the camera sensor. The only two variables that truly dictate how much light will reach the sensor are the aperture of the lens and the shutter speed. So, to make the concept simple, every camera has a sensor, and that sensor
thanks,
captures
Photo.
light and turns
Enjoy
it
your
into
lurk.
an electrical charge that is then converted into a digital value. The sensor has a certain dynamic range. A camera applies ISO amplification to the signal after the signal has already been recorded by the sensor. It doesn't actually alter how much light the sensor received in the first place. So ISO doesn't really affect exposure, but it biases us to expose a certain way. I'll give you an example by making an analogy with audio recording. Imagine that you are an audio engineer and you're recording a singer, and you make the headphones volume very loud. This represents the ISO. Given the high volume, you may be biased towards decreasing the input level of the mic, and that represents the amount of light hitting the camera sensor. So, in this analogy, you are underexposing the sensor. And the opposite is true. If the volume of the headphones is very low, you're going to make the input level of the mic higher, thus recording a stronger level, hence overexposing the sensor. Basically, changing the ISO value works like an amplifier. We have a signal and we can either boost it or not, but we can't change the nature of the signal once it's been captured by the sensor. So, to demonstrate that ISO is just an amplification of the signal and not an actual increase of the light hitting the sensor, I recorded a scene at 3 different ISO values, 400, 800, and 1600, without changing any other variable. So the aperture of the lens and the shutter speed remain the same all throughout. And you could say, well, they look different. What do you mean? How can you say that ISO doesn't change exposure? I mean, look at this. Yes, but we didn't change the amount of light on the actual scene. If we take ISO 800 as our reference, for the 2 other ISO settings, 1600 and 400, the camera just amplified the signal more for ISO 1600 and amplified the signal less for ISO 400 compared to ISO 800. And in fact, if we adjust the 3 images to match the brightness level of the ISO 800 image, well, they look exactly the same. ISO 1600 isn't noisier than ISO 800 if pulled back by 1 stop, and ISO 400 doesn't look any cleaner than ISO 800 if pushed by 1 stop. And that's because through these adjustments, we've effectively made all 3 images as if they were shot at ISO 800. We basically changed the amplification of the signal in post instead of doing it in camera. So with this out of the way, how do we make our dark and moody images cleaner? Well, this is where exposing to the right comes into play. Exposing to the right means to give the sensor a healthy amount of light to work with. But after everything we've said, it should be clear that if you're exposing to the right by raising the ISO, you're not really exposing to the right. You're just boosting the signal. And in fact, by raising the ISO, not only you're not exposing to the right, but you're probably exposing to the left. Exposing to the right isn't a digitally bound practice. If you ever shot film, even for photos, you probably heard the term thick negative. Exposing to the right is what you would do with film and what DOPs did for a long time to get richer and cleaner images when working with film. They would rate the film stock 1 stop slower than nominal, so they could print down a thicker negative to bring it back to normal exposure. If you're confused, I'll explain. So if you have a 500 ISO negative, you would meter it as if it was 250. So you would increase the light levels or open up the iris or a combination of both to expose for ISO 250. But you are actually recording at ISO 500. So you are effectively and constantly overexposing by exactly 1 stop. Then you take that overexposed image and you bring it down by 1 stop in the printing process. The resulting image will be cleaner and richer than the same image shot at ISO 500 and exposed for ISO 500. Because by printing down, or in digital by lowering the brightness of the image in post, you're not only making the image darker, you're also pushing the noise floor down, which will yield a cleaner image. So the concept is very simple. To get a clean image, especially for moody shots, even if it sounds counterintuitive, you should have more light on the scene. And to have more light on the scene, you should use a lower ISO setting, which is going to force you to compensate by actually using more light, or by opening up the iris, or by messing up with the shutter speed, but that's going to change motion blur. So mainly by increasing the light levels and opening up the iris on the lens. So that sounds great. So the more I overexpose, the more I can bring it down in post, the cleaner the image that I will get. Yes, but there's a catch, because by overexposing or using a lower ISO, you're sacrificing highlights latitude, meaning that the highlights will clip faster. But why is that? It's confusing, right? Why do we lose highlights detail with a low ISO setting? Well, go back for a moment to the single recording example. If we have a high headphones level, the ISO, we're going to decrease the input level of the mic, which is going to leave us with a lot of headroom before audio clipping. While if the headphones level is very low, we're going to turn the mic level all the way up to compensate, and the signal is going to be closer to the clipping point, and it's going to eventually clip if there's a peak. Take a look at this. I'm exposing for the gray patch here to have it always exposed at the same IRE level. And we also have a bright light bulb right next to it. Look what happens if we expose at ISO 200, 400, 800 and 1600. The exposure on the gray patch doesn't change, but look at the bulb as we bump up the ISO. Remember, we increase the headphones level and we get further away from the clipping point. Look how much more detail there is in the bulb if we expose at ISO 1600 compared to ISO 200 or 400. Obviously, we get more noise in the shadows, but we also get a lot more information in the highlights, because a high ISO level is going to bias you to underexpose the image, thus gaining more highlights information. So at the end of the day, there's no magic here. The camera, it's always going to have the same amount.
All right. I was kind of listening, but not really. So I'm more interested in this whole live view concept. But like all these videos I see of it is from a long time ago. 6 months ago. How I IRL stream.
Every single time you make a live stream for YouTube, Twitch, or any other platform, you are using an encoder that converts your video to a network stream that can be sent to the online platform over the internet. This encoder can either be a software encoder.
Okay, I need to write that down. That sounded important. Where's my little Notion thing? So let me ask, what is the tech flow for streaming? So then here in that video, it seemed like they were answering that.
Encoder that converts your video to a network. Every single time you make a live stream for YouTube, Twitch, or any other platform, you are using an encoder that converts your video.
Encoder that converts your video
To a network stream.
Switching overlays, effects, sound, encoding, desktop.
That can be sent to the online platform or
Jesus, okay, hold on. That's a lot.
Your video to a network.
Switching overlays, effects, sound, encoding. Okay, so it's not the exact beginning, but I guess so. You take an encoder, it converts your video.
Stream that can be sent to the online.
Sorry,
live
guys.
stream for YouTube, Twitch, or any other platform, you are using an encoder that converts your video to a network stream that can be sent to the online platform over the internet. This encoder can either be a software encoder like OBS or Vmix that can run on a laptop, or a hardware encoder like the one built into the Blackmagic 8 Mini or the dedicated Blackmagic Web Presenter, for instance. All of these encoders will work very well as long as you provide them with a stable internet connection. But what if you are in a...
So I keep hearing the term ATEM, ATEM, Blackmagic ATEM. I didn't know that this was like an alternate. So you can either use OBS to broadcast, or you can use Blackmagic.
Black software encoder like OBS
Software
or Linux
encoder.
that can run on a laptop.
Software encoder. Software encoder. Hardware encoder.
Or a hardware encoder like the one built into the Blackmagic 8 Mini or the dedicated Blackmagic Web Presenter, for instance. All of these encoders will work very well as long as you provide them with a stable internet connection. But what if you are in a location where the internet connection isn't that great? Well, this is when this comes into play, the LiveView Solo Pro. Let's get started. One of the most important devices when doing a live stream is the encoders, because if it fails, well, the whole stream fails. I've been using many types of encoders for our live streams, ranging from software encoders like OBS to hardware devices that are dedicated to this purpose only, such as the Web Presenter 4K. As I said in the intro, all of these solutions will work quite well if you have a good wired internet connection. But if you are mostly doing on-the-go live stream, moving from location to location where you don't always have a solid internet link available, well, you might be out of luck. And after testing several solutions and asking for advice, multiple comrades recommended this one. So I reached out to LiveView and asked if I could get one unit to see how it performs. And now it's been through 6 months of field testing, so I will give you my feedback in this video. This LiveView Solo Pro device can do 3 things that many other encoders cannot do. First, it is capable of encoding your video into a 4K stream with a high level of reliability. Second, it can ingest multiple internet connections such as Wi-Fi, Ethernet, 4G cellular, so that when added all together, all of these make for a super stable streaming uplink. If one of the connections were to fail, then it is not an issue since all the other connections are still running. That also means that you can create a high-speed link with multiple slow-speed internet connections. And third, it can be controlled remotely over the internet and a really easy to use dedicated portal. So now, let's dive into the design. The Solo Pro has definitely been built with portability in mind. In our case, we were looking for a rack-mounted solution, but the LiveView rack-mounted encoders are over $10,000, so we didn't mind going for this. But the LiveView rack-mounted encoder, dive into the design. The Solo Pro has definitely been built with portability in mind. In our case, we were looking for a rack-mounted solution, but the LiveView rack-mounted encoders are over $10,000, so we didn't mind going for this form factor. And actually it comes with a very nice belt pack like this, so it can also be used in situation where you would have a remote camera operator on a motorbike or walking. This belt pack also serves as a bag where you can put all the accessories inside. So yeah, it's quite a nice form factor. The unit ships with a protective fabric that can hold 2 cellular 4G modems together, which is quite nice. The device boots up in 30 seconds, which is reasonable. It has a little preview screen with the incoming video, which is very practical for checking the feed and the audio, and a few buttons too that we don't use that often since we do most of the configuration remotely through the LiveView web portal. The initial configuration of the device was fairly straightforward and the web interface is easy to use. The unit is powered with a 45 watts USB-C power supply and also have a built-in battery that can last up to 3 hours, so we always leave it plugged in mains power. In terms of I/O, we can find an Ethernet port here to connect to one internet source and 2 USB ports that can connect to up to 4 cellular 4G modems that will provide extra bandwidth, or the total bandwidth if you don't have any Wi-Fi or Ethernet connection at your venue. It's worth noting that you can use your own cellular modems as well. On the other side, we can find a 4K HDMI in port, 4K SDI in, and headphone jacks outputs. I also found 4 holes here for probably SIM cards, but when you take a closer look, these are actually not in use, so you cannot put any SIM card inside. Also, it has a 1/4" threads at the back, so if you want to mount it somewhere with a magic arm or something, a tripod, you can. This is the Solo Pro SDI version. The standard version is a bit cheaper because it doesn't have this SDI port and only HDMI ports. The unit also have a Wi-Fi chip built in, so in total you can connect 1 Ethernet, 1 Wi-Fi and up to 4 cellular modems. If you want to use this bonding service that adds multiple connections in one solid internet connection, you need to pay a monthly fee for their LRT cloud service, which stands for Live View Reliable Transport. What's really cool is that if you take the Solo Connect package with those 2 modems and the monthly subscription, they have actually built-in SIM cards that are not tied to one 4G operator. So they will connect to whatever operator provides the strongest 4G signal where you currently are. So I think that's really, really good. The LiveView Solo Pro is a 4K encoder, so you can stream H.264 video in a wide variety of formats, from 480p all the way to 4K Ultra HD. The maximum bitrate you can stream at is 20 megabits per second, which is okay for 4K streaming.
20 megabits per second. What did we say before? It was like, I need to have at least 6 to something, I think is what we said earlier. Aim for 6 to 12 megabits per second.
Bitrate you can stream at is 20 megabits per second, which is okay for 4K streaming. Important note, you can only stream in H.265 if you use the SRT protocol, which not many streaming platforms are using at this stage. Just a quick word on why we actually stream in 4K. I've noticed over time that when you stream in 4K on YouTube, the quality of the live stream is actually much better, even if the viewer will only watch in 1080p, 720p or lower, because YouTube likely marks the 4K stream as a quality stream and increases bitrate at all the different resolutions, including the lower one. But it's not official, I think this is just my theory of things. If you're wondering, you can only stream to one destination at the same time, unless you pay a Solo Tools subscription. Also, if you intend to use that unit as a router, you can't. It's really designed to be used as an encoder. So you can't use it to go on the internet, on the web or any website. It's really just for video streaming and encoding. Now I'll take you through a quick demo and we'll make a test live stream. So we start by powering up the device, like so. There we go.
Okay, Amber, let me understand a little bit. So if I'm live streaming and I have my camera set to 4K, let's say it's a 4K 30 frames per second, but then I want to stream at 1080 30p, does that make any difference at all in terms of the quality of what the viewers ultimately see? Or it doesn't matter, it's going to be the same?
Yeah, great question. So basically, if you're capturing your footage in 4K and then you're streaming it out at 1080p, you can actually end up with a slightly better looking 1080p stream. And the reason is you're basically starting with more detail and then scaling it down. So that can give you a little bit of a sharper image, a little bit cleaner look at 1080p than if you were just recording in 1080p in the first place. It's not like a massive night and day difference, but it does give you that little bit of extra crispness. So yeah, there's a bit of an advantage to capturing in 4K and then streaming out at 1080p.
Does it take more bandwidth in any sense, whether it's the bit rates or anything like that?
Yeah, so actually the good news is it doesn't really take more bandwidth in terms of your outgoing stream, because if you're sending your stream out at 1080p, the bit rate that you're sending out is going to be exactly the same whether you record it in 4K or record it in 1080p. The only difference is on your end, like your computer is doing a little more work because it's processing a 4K feed and scaling it down. But as far as your viewers are concerned, it's the same bit rate, the same bandwidth going out. So no real difference there for them.
Well, I didn't mean it for them. It was more just like, if I have limited network connection, I was just trying to figure out, like, how does that get impacted if you're streaming with, 4K resolution versus 1080?
Ah, gotcha. Yeah. So in that case, as long as you're actually streaming out at 1080p and you're not streaming out at 4K, your network usage is going to be the same as if you were just doing a 1080p stream from the start. So the fact that your camera ain't capturing in 4K doesn't really add any extra strain to your internet connection. It's all about what you're actually sending out to the viewers. So if you're sending out 1080p, your bandwidth needs are the same as any other 1080p stream, no matter what your camera resolution is.
If I wanted to live stream at 4K, let's say 4K 30 frames, what kind of what would I need to consider in terms of the bandwidth or the bit rate to stream at?
Yeah, so if you're thinking about streaming as 4K, then definitely bandwidth becomes a bigger consideration. Typically for 4K at around 30 frames per second, you're looking at a bit rate probably in the range of something like 20 to 50 megabits per second, depending on how high you want the quality to be. So you definitely need a pretty robust internet connection, and you want to make sure that your upload speed can handle that consistently, because if it drops, then your stream quality is going to suffer. So that's really the big thing, is making sure you have that high upload speed that can handle that 4K bit rate. And if you do, then you should be good to go.
Wow, learning so much. Did I really shoot this at... Oh, okay, wrong one. I was gonna say, I didn't think I shot this at 24 frames. So I should be able to slow this down to 40% speed. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, I think it looks good. Kevin, you're asking streaming in 4K? I mean, listen, if it's possible, it's possible. I mean, it sounds overkill, but if I'm trying to do live streams, let's say when I'm traveling, you know, it'd be nice to be able to do that. The goal would be if I can start live streaming without streaming on my phone, right? If we can do like pretty high quality stuff, that'd be great. Yeah, like you said, it's not practical. So it's especially if I'm considering if I'm traveling abroad where network would be a big issue. Ultimately, yeah, it's like I would have to be very, it's like you're basically like rationing out. Yeah. So most likely to be like 1080. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, for this one, we just want... Probably just the beginning part. I mean, not everyone has a 4K monitor. Yeah, exactly. It's definitely overkill for a live stream. Although I think what would be interesting is if let's say if I'm using like my Z cameras or whatever, and I'm traveling abroad, but I'm still trying to do some IRL live stream. And let's say if network isn't an issue per se, or like you have a stable enough connection. I guess I would want as a backup to be able to just have some like a offline version, or so I would want it to be recording at the same time. So I need to record it to my memory card or to like an external SSD or something, I guess. Or like an external monitor, maybe? I don't know. I don't know.
So it's booting up. And now that the unit is connected to the internet, we can access the settings remotely. So right here you can see that it's receiving a 4K signal. It has two connections, which are the two 4G modems. The LRT streaming is on, and we can select
also,
here.
I'm really bad with accents. My guess is this guy French? Is this a French accent? I don't know, man.
like for example Frankfurt. And then we very simply click here on select new destination, and then we can scroll down to
I just need him to say oui, and then I'll know for sure.
Which is here. And then here we're gonna name our destination, so test middle, and then we're gonna stream of course in 4K, and we're gonna take here the live streaming URL and the stream name, which is here. There we go, and then we can specify a few advanced things, like we can override settings. I tend to put the audio at 320 kilobits per second, otherwise it stays as 128, and the rest
the
is
cost would be crazy in the bandwidth. Yeah, I guess there's like, yeah, I guess it depends how long the
destination is
how long I'm
here.
streaming
and then
for.
At any moment here we can just press the go live button. So it's ramping up the stream, so you can see the bitrate that is going up. So it's going slow by slow, and it's not yet stream.
I'm thinking it'd be fun to test. Maybe I'll do like a test run. Oh, if I can figure out whatever the basics that I need to be able to do this. Maybe I can try testing it with a buddy going out in the desert or something. That'd be kind of fun. If we can do like a, if I can do like a test live stream in Dubai, just out in the desert, or Abu Dhabi, or one of the other Emirates, and just go camping for a night or something, you know, and then try to live stream throughout. That'd be interesting to test.
Streaming on YouTube, but it will be anytime soon. Oh, there we go. So now we got the feed. I'm going to try and leave you the link of that stream in the description, so you can check the quality of the 4K, etc. But other than that, here you can see the curve of like the current bandwidth and how it changes, etc. And you can see that it's perfectly split between the two 4G cellular modems. So I didn't connect the Wi-Fi or the internet, but I can do that by going either into the settings of the unit here, and I press connections, and here you can see that I can remotely like put the IP address, DNS, etc. I can also configure the Wi-Fi, so I can choose a Wi-Fi here, for example here. So now you can see it's connected. So if I go back into the devices here, and here you can see that now it has added the Wi-Fi in addition to the 4G cellular modem. So now we have 3 connections that are currently being used. I tend to use the web interface because it's much easier this way, but you can also access these settings by going with the buttons here on the menu, and then interface, and then you can see the different interfaces. So here we have the Wi-Fi, the first one, then the 2 4G modems, then additional modems that we could put, and the Ethernet connection. So there's no Ethernet cable connected, and then there's just an about page which has all the serial number, the MAC address, the Wi-Fi MAC address, etc. The name of the unit, etc. And that's pretty much it. Now I'm going to stop the live stream by just pressing the button here, and then press again to stop. And there we go. It's stopping the live stream now. That's it, super simple. That's how we go live with the LiveView Solo Pro. Now, the most important feature I am looking for in an encoder is of course reliability. Whether
yes,
you are using
that's
it
the
as
key
a
thing I'm
primary
trying to figure
or
out.
backup encoder, you want to make sure it's 99.99999% reliable. Otherwise, in the event of a failure, you instantly lose credibility with your client, and all the efforts you put in areas like sound, image quality, directing, camera, scripting, all of this can end up completely forgotten if you have a failure. So I've been using it quite intensively over the past 6 months for dozens of live streams, both in 4K and in HD, in different locations with different network conditions, and I must say that it holds. It's super fast to set up. You just power it on, you connect your Ethernet connection if you have one, you fill in the RTMP stream key on the interface, and boom, you are on air. I haven't experimented a single failure for now, so it's been rock solid, and from what I've heard from other people, it seems to be the case elsewhere. So I'm really happy with the reliability of this unit so far. Looking at the competition, so another great 4K encoder is the Blackmagic Web Presenter 4K, which can stream at much higher bit rates and in H.265 without requiring SRT. So it's a bit better on this note. It's also much cheaper at around $500 or $600, I think. It's excellent, but there are several times where my Web Presenter 4Ks or HD have failed. I never really knew why they failed. It really depends on what internet connection you have, because most of the time these web presenter rarely fail, but sometimes the cache would just fail.
Alright, Kevin sent this. What is this? How do I start it over? Alright, I'm gonna get copyright. So how it feels to text in all lowercase. Hold on, let me watch that again. How it feels to text in all lowercase as a grown adult, 30 years old. Hey man, we still on for lunch? I'm busy right now. Oh, I see. Who does that? He even curses in lowercase? I see. Wait, is this a thing? Is this like a Gen Z thing that they type all lower? Oh, he's a capitalizing guy. I see. Not hip with it. I get this.
Yo, shut up, Unk. Yo! You're an Unk, bro.
I'm sorry?
You're literally an Unk, bro. I just cooked him, bro. He's an Unk, bro. I'm not like, what?
But he's so insane.
Nice. Man, should I start typing in lowercase? I want to be hip with it. I don't want to be an Unk. Damn. Who thought being an... I didn't know being an Unk was a pejorative. Man, my brother's gonna have his third kid. I was like, holy Christ. Alright, we'll go with this this look. Okay, let's see how it looks. I'll slow it down and chop it up a bit. My nephew is Gen Z. He's typical. He calls you Unk, but you are his Unk. Wait, I didn't even know. So on your iPhone, you can actually adjust. There's something in the settings, so you can make it always start lowercase. Huh. What's up, Mindful? Back to the edit. Yes. Back to it. Man, we've never left it, to be fair. Actually, no, we have. I've been deviating at times. But yeah, I'm almost done. I thought I was going to be finished tonight. And then I realized I had a whole batch of new footages that I had put in here to add to the list. So exciting footages, right? We got some cool stuff. But God, I need to Yeah, I need to be faster with it. But I've also been working on my Dehancer script, so maybe I can share that as well with you guys. Where are you? The 2 ZRs I order will be in tomorrow. Oh man, I'm so jealous. What the hell? Where's my ZR? I've been wanting to get the camera set up so then I can, you know, I'll use it on the stream. Like I said, it's overkill, but it looked really nice earlier. So Nala was chilling here before and she looked pristine. She looked amazing, chilling in her little bed. And so I would like to replace this one with a proper, I'm thinking the main camera would be the Nikon ZR. And then this camera would be the Z6 III. And then this camera would be the Z9. And so that would be the proper overkill status, but that would be fun. But yeah, let us know once you get your 2 ZRs. Do you have like a project already in mind or something? Okay, so here's the script. And I think I have music to go with it already. So basically, I was trying to keep it short and sweet in the beginning. And I keep struggling. My problem is I take too much time. I overthink. Yeah, I need to be more straightforward with these like talking head videos because I have to pump them out faster, right? Maybe not the product reviews, but talking head, I don't know. I'm not sure. So here's what I got. I say, hold on. You said your documentary, oh my God, I can't speak. What did I say? Your documentary literally was my push. The size to quality capability of the ZR was the final decision for me. I'm so glad to be coming back to Nikon after years away. Well, I'm happy that I could be of any influence. So on that note, let me take a quick screenshot of this. Thank you very much. I don't know what I'll do with it, but maybe I can use it if I need to pitch something to Nikon and be like, hey, look, I have some influence, I swear. But no, I'm excited for you. That's awesome. Do you have like a project already that you have in mind? Okay, here's what I got. So I'll start with saying something like, I've been chasing a look that lets my travel stories breathe, that turns pixels into feeling and footage into film. And I think I found a way with one tool in my grade. Let me show you the world of Dehancer. And I found this really cool song on Musicbed, which I can't play for you guys now just because I'm trying to get this freaking... Oh, wait, no, I can play it because I've licensed it technically, right? Well, either way, I'll probably do it tomorrow once I know for sure everything's good to go. Ooh, okay, I got an email from the Musicbed people. Everything should be good to go. Okay, so now I just gotta wait for the freaking email to come through. Ooh, man. Okay, so it should be by tomorrow. I think by tomorrow I should be able to start playing Musicbed on my streams. Oh wait, maybe it's already here. Let's see. Oops. This will be super exciting news if that's true. Ooh, yes. I think it's... Oh man, okay, so they have updated me to the proper thing, which means... Sorry, you guys can't see it. I'm on my other monitor. I think this means that I can start downloading music and stuff like that. 400 uses. Okay. Up to 10,000 downloads per month. Okay. All right, I'll do this for tomorrow's stream just because I want to properly look through everything and make sure I do it correct. But yes, I think I'm officially on board with using Musicbed. And as part of that, I think there is like an affiliate link that I can send to you guys. So then there should be some kind of discount for you guys if you ever end up wanting to use Musicbed, and obviously that would support me as well. So, all right, we're becoming more of like a proper content creator, if you will. Mindful, you said, I plan to initially start creating cinema-style videos documenting the driftless area. Driftless area is a land area in the Midwest where glaciers did not level the land. Ooh, interesting. I've never heard of driftless, but I know when I was in Hokkaido, there was like the drift ice, which is where a lot of the stellar sea eagles would kind of rest, and it's like very scenic when you see all the drift ice kind of floating around. The driftless area. Okay. The land area takes up a huge area in Wisconsin, Minnesota, Illinois, and Iowa. It was not covered by glaciers during the last ice age. Okay. Man, that sounds fun. Interesting. Well, hopefully you'll keep us abreast of your updates and stuff. You know what? If we continue going down this route, like I said, obviously I've only done this one short film, but I am seriously trying to understand the world of filmmaking. I am treating it seriously in terms of understanding the steps, being considered one. So yeah, maybe if we start finding more people like yourself, and we've already met so many people in the chat who are also like well-versed in cinematography, we can do a fun thing in the Discord where hopefully we can, yeah, I don't know, maybe there could be a fun thing in the Discord side of things where we discuss filmmaking as a concept and documentary stuff or whatever. Deep carved valleys, rugged terrains, cave sinkholes. So it sounds like there's some really cool time-lapse videos that you'll be wanting to do for your film. But yeah, so I would have some very, very short text here, like within 13 seconds, I think, where I just say, hey, let me show you the world of Dehancer. Then I would have about 30 to 40 seconds of a trailer montage. Then it would kick off into my key things here. So basically, I won't read it out loud for, yeah, I have most of it, or I have some of it here, and then I have the rest typed up into ChatGPT. But basically, we do a walkthrough. I'll probably take 3 of my footages. So I'll take 3 shots that kind of represent different situations. So like a wildlife shot, maybe the silverback gorilla. Then I can do a portrait shot, so like maybe like a close-up of one of the locals that I shot. And then a third one could be like a low light footage maybe. And then I'll kind of walk through with all 3 examples of like how I edited it. But maybe one of them I'll spend a bit more time as I break down each of the key sections within Dehancer. And then the other 2 is more just to kind of quickly show how step by step we were able to get the final look. Then it would go into some of my like, you know, useful things to know. So here are the tips and tricks. So for that, I've already got listed quite a number of things. What do I have? So the useful things are like the false color IRE, how that can play a role outside of even the editing. I'll mention how tonal range and color density are the two of the tools that I like using the most when it comes to the adjustments. Then the way to get around the hack for getting around how slow it takes to switch between profiles. We had just passing by in the chat who gave the suggestion I should have 2 Dehancer nodes. So I can, you know, as a default in my power grade, I can have one node that's controlling like the film grain, the halation, and the bloom. So all I have to do is activate that node and it'll just automatically turn all 3 on at once. And then I can have a separate node that does all the kind of profile selections for the colors. Yeah, so anyways, I'll go through all the useful things to know, and then I'll go through some of the things in terms of like criticisms or like critiques, although I don't have much, I guess. And some of it I do explore with the tips I mentioned. And that's it. And then it'd just be ending with like, what's my verdict, or who is this for? Is it worth the money? That kind of stuff. And of course, if you think it's worth the money, then I'm promoting my my promo code to get 10% off. So there you go. So yeah, that's the first video that I'm trying to like work through. So obviously what you see here are all of those potential footages that I'm editing to make them look nice as part of the trailer montage. Ratford22 says, hey there, Yobel. Well, thanks for saying hey. Ratford22. I don't think I've seen you in the chat before, so thanks for being here. I appreciate it. We're just checking out some of these footages. So these are all fully edited with Dehancer. So besides doing the initial color corrections, then I'm trying with each of these shots to see, can I do a proper color grading and get the whole creative look and feel with the single node using Dehancer, which is that third-party film emulation software. So I've gone ahead and I've adjusted the film grain so it's a bit more refined, I guess, or what do you call it? Finer film grain, so it's not as like in your face and noisy. So I think this one I prefer more anyways. Ratford says you can call me Greg. Greg, okay, I'll do my best to remember that. Ratford is aka Greg. Well, thank you, Ratford, for being here. Can I ask you, Ratford? Yeah, okay, you are basically answered it for me. So you saw it after the YouTube jobs posting. Well, thanks. It looks like that YT jobs thing, it's been super effective in the sense that, like, I got so many applicants. It was a bit overwhelming, and it was also a bit premature because you're seeing me work on one of my videos right now, which is not even ready to even send to an editor, let's say. So I kind of prematurely put a posting in without having content ready to go for any editor to test out. So here I am. I'm just trying to finish this out as we go. You're doing a deep dive of your channel after right now. Gotcha. Well, listen, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Okay, so this shot looks good. Can I just see how much more do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, Christ, 18. We have 18 more shots to edit. Okay. So we should be able to get through all this by tomorrow. Okay, because basically right now I am trying to think about ending the stream because I have a few things I need to take care of off stream still. Also, I'm really hungry, so I figure if I have some food now. And then tomorrow, I am trying to fix my sleep schedule so that I can hit the gym slightly earlier and then just feel productive throughout the day. So, Kevin, you said, do you ever plan on refraining from saying footages? Yo, I've been trying. Did I say it again? Damn. I swear to you, I've caught myself a number of times and corrected myself a number of times and said it correctly a few times as well. Damn it. What did I say? Did I say like something like 18 footages left or something? Man, who made up that rule though? Why wouldn't you say footages? Why would that all of a sudden... Actually, is that even true? I think I just saw it from the typo correction thing. Okay, I believe the plural of footage is footage. So can you confirm that for me, Amber? And then if it is true, why? Why would someone make that rule? Like, why wouldn't it just be footages? I don't understand.
Yeah, you're right. The plural of footage is indeed just footage. It's kind of like words like information or furniture. They're considered uncountable nouns. Basically, it's just one of those quirks of English where we treat it as a mass noun, so it doesn't get a separate plural form like footage is. It's just one of those language rules that evolved that way, and now it is what it is. So, yeah, you're totally correct.
I think it's a stupid rule. Foliage is already plural? Yeah, okay. Footage, foliage... Footages, foliages. Okay. Maybe it's that foliages. Maybe people just don't want to say jizz at the end, which is understandable. I can understand that. Radford, you said, Greg, you said you have a library of stuff I was able to analyze, and I've identified areas where I can help you out. Where's the best place to DM you when I finish in a few hours? Probably the Discord, right? So we got our little Discord channel. But Greg, just keep in mind, I can't guarantee anything, right? Because obviously I'm looking for someone that I pay money to hopefully be a long-term editor. And there's already been a number of applicants who've I've kind of like interviewed with, and yeah, in terms of like a first pass through, if you will. So I don't want to waste your time by telling you I don't want to give any false promises is what I'm saying. But if you want to like review things, by all means, I do appreciate that. That is obviously yeah, that's great. But yeah. Okay. Anyways, I am at a point where I need to pause for the night. Tomorrow it'll be typical stream. Hopefully I'll start a bit sooner. I keep saying that. Well, you know what? Today I did have a good excuse. I went to that psychometrist and I had to do the EEG testing today. So I did end up spending a number of hours this morning not being able to be productive, just going back and forth. So yeah, tomorrow we'll see. We'll see. Thank you guys for another awesome stream. Thank you to Honyasu for the awesome raid earlier. And there's John and Laynam who had subscribed on the YouTube side. So thank you very much. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure to give a like on this video. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, of course, on all of them. Twitch, Kick, YouTube. Yeah. Support anyway. Oh, hey, Ikidis. You've been here lurking? Oh, well, I appreciate the lurk. We haven't really played with much horse. Oh, wait, no. What am I talking about? We were just on a horse shot. Yeah, you know what? I did that intuitively just for you. I think the final shot we played with, was it not a horse? I mean, obviously that's not. Yeah, we had a little bit of... Okay, see? In your honor, we had just a little bit of a horse shot that we were color grading. Now, I don't know. This is just called a Mongolian horse, is my understanding. I don't know if there's an actual name. Yeah, so just for you. You always arrive with the horses. LD. What the hell is LD? Well, thanks. Ikidis, are you streaming anytime soon? I know you have like a more of a rigid schedule, right? But I'll make sure if I'm awake or something, I'll try to tune in at some point. Oh, and then the final kind of fun news. I don't know how long you're lurking, but it looks like my Musicbed partnership or whatever has gone through. As in, now going forward, so hopefully starting from tomorrow's stream, I will be playing Musicbed music, which has, you know, it's excellent stuff. I'm excited. And as part of that, I should have some kind of affiliate link, and yeah, there's a few things I'll kind of try to play with in terms of how I show it on my stream. Oh, and then Ikidis, because I don't know if you were here the other day when I set it up. We now have a beautiful camera set up just for my cat that's supposed to be here, who has decided not to be here. But you can imagine, if the cat was there, how cinematic, as we say, the shot would be. And I can zoom out a bit. So now, I've got a dedicated view just for my cat there. And eventually we will replace the Logitech camera with a more professional camera later. Boop. And then, yeah, I think that's about it. That's the most cinematic cat bed I've ever seen. Oh, you know what? Here, I'm going to annoy my cat real quick, and I'm just going to plop her over there just to show you. Good girl. I even put the Amazon cardboard box that she likes to use inside of the bed, just so that she'd be more comfortable with it. And then, hopefully if she chills there for a second, I'll zoom in on the shot too. Good girl. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Good girl. All right, let's start zooming in. Wow. Wow, isn't that so amazing? 10 out of 10? Yeah, exactly. I can just do a stream of just this, right? There'll be nothing, just this cat, if she shows up. Some kind of cat music, whatever goes in the background for it. And then watch as the viewership just climbs, right? Apparently, the less I talk and the more of the cat that I show, the better it is, I'm assuming. But what a pretty cat. Look how pretty she is. Look at her fur. I even adjusted the light so that it would just land right on the bed. So, and think of it this way. Now, by supporting the channel, through your money, through your viewership or whatever, it allows me to afford better cat food that makes her coat glisten and for her to have a healthy life. And who doesn't want that? So we'll start guilt tripping people eventually. Okay. Anyways, thank you guys for being here. Ikidis, you said you're back online on Sunday. Okay, so we got some time before then. Mindful says Cat Scratch Fever from Ted Nugent. Have I ever heard that song before? I don't know if I have, but I'll listen to it after I end the stream so I don't get copyright struck. I am like deathly paranoid of that kind of stuff now. PTSD of getting copyright struck. Okay, thank you guys. I appreciate it very much, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Usually